Backlog.
And the beautiful thing about this is, if you say anything, Tenny, that you don't want to be in the podcast, we can edit it out. It's okay. So let it
That's
all
pretty
out
nice.
now. Go on.
You want me to start saying start? I'm kidding. I'm not gonna say start.
You gotta say that. Anyway. So, yo, guys. Welcome to the Backlog Podcast number 21 with our guest, Teniichi.
Hello.
Would you prefer Tenny or Teniichi?
I think Tenny is easier to say, so I prefer Tenny.
Okay. Awesome. So, I guess, did you guys have anything awesome going on this week, or?
Just an ordinary week. Nothing too interesting.
Okay. Well, usually what we do, one of the first things we do, is we start off by talking about our weeks. So that'd be like anything weird, funny, or, aggravating, whatever it may be. Or it could be mundane, like maybe you just, you went to school and you streamed, or something funny happened on stream. It doesn't really matter. So, I know I might have mentioned it before, but as our guest, would you like to go first?
Let me see. Something interesting that happened this week. Well, today was actually pretty eventful. I think I've had really bad luck today.
Oh,
So I started off the day with like a nightmare. I personally don't really have nightmares, but I had a really bad nightmare yesterday. It had like all the components of like a bad nightmare. So
wow.
it was very detailed, and I remember everything. So
Really?
it was like yeah, and I even wrote it down in my notes because I didn't want to forget because it was so wacky. So it kind of started off with like I don't know why there's like a fish contest that's like going on in my house. There's like someone that's trying to pick the best fish, and everyone is like, look at my fish, this one is like super rare with like this kind of like genetic like mutation and why it should be chosen. So everyone is like in my house, and we have like a bunch of fishes at our house as well, and I'm like looking around, and there's this huge tank that in like the corner of our house that I looked at, and inside is this fish that looks like a human but backwards, like upside down. Like his head is his feet, and his feet is his head.
Whoa.
And it was really weird, and I was like, hey, so do I talk to you looking at your feet, or do I talk to you looking at your head, because it seems like your eyes are down there. And then he was like, just look at my feet, like my head feet. I was like, okay. And then we made friends, and it was going great, and I thought it was going to be a wholesome dream where I befriend this weird upside down human fish, right?
Yep,
and then yeah, but then as we were like walking around our house, hanging out, right? There's this room, and I heard something behind it, and I opened it, and I opened the room, and it was like dark, and my mom was sitting there, but like she was like grinning, and like her head was like convulsing like this, and it was terrifying. And there was like in the corner, her phone was like playing some like alarm sound, but like really faint and really creepy, and I was like, oh, that's not great. I shut the door. And then afterwards, I hear like normal sounds behind it, and I open it again, and it was normal. Like it was my mom, like, and I don't know why. It was like a makeshift guest room, and it was going towards the basement or something. It was like in the basement already. I don't know. The dream doesn't make sense. It should be first floor, but somehow that room is in the basement. And I go in, I hang out. It's like, oh great, everything's back to normal. I don't know where the fish person went, but it just vanished from my dream, And now it's the basement arc, and and then we were walking. Yeah, the basement arc.
Okay.
And it was like a huge basement. And we were like walking around, and it was like endless. It just keeps getting bigger and bigger, and behind every door is like a bigger section of the basement. I was like, I don't remember our house being this big. Why is our basement so huge? And there's like miscellaneous furniture, because I think like we just got this house, or like rented it or something. And we're just walking around, and then out jumps a huge furry spider that like grabs me on the foot. And so that was another layer of terrifying. We first got, I don't know, possessed mom, we got the fish, and now we got giant bugs that is now terrorizing me.
Oh yeah, right, of course, yeah.
Yeah, and then so it was just a lot of screaming, hitting the bug, trying to kill the bug, and running away. And the bug goes so fucking fast. And after the and then we got rid of the bugs, and then we were walking around again, And then we opened this door, and it was this like very modern, well furnished like gamer room. Like it had like 3 monitors, the walls were white, had like LEDs. It was very well furnished. But the thing is, we were like, whose room is this? We have never seen this before. And there's like a second subsection of the room inside, and we walked in, and another person walked out, and we were like, who are you? Why are you living in our basement?
Right.
And then the lady was like, oh, I'm like a relative of the person that you got the house from, and I was I was hoping that you never find me. And another weird thing is like in the corner of her room there was like stairs going up to like a night market, which also doesn't make sense.
Wait, what is a night market?
Like it's like an evening, and it's like those Asian night markets with like food and like all these little vendors on the side, that kind of stuff, like a night market. Yeah, and which is also weird. Why is our basement connected to a night market?
Of course.
I don't know, God. Yeah, convenience, very, very convenient. And yeah, and then another man shows up. I don't know where he came from. And he was like, I'm very surprised you guys, got this place. And I was like, what do you mean you're very surprised we got this place? And they're like, you don't know, this place is haunted. I was like, what do you mean this place is haunted? Yeah, and they're like, yeah, like there's like hair on the walls, and like a lot of like the people in the old family, like the oldest son died here, and like the daughter had like a miscarriage. Things just went really bad in this house, so we thought, no one will get this place. And I was like, Mom, why did you get this place? And she was like, it's cheap. And then the dream ended. Oh wait, no. And then the man tried to kill us, and then I killed him, and then the dream ended.
Whoa.
So it was a lot. It was a lot going on.
That sounds like a lot. I'm surprised. I'm surprised also, like, the dream didn't end when the spider attacked you, but...
Right? That's what I thought too. And it was one of those dreams where I was sure that I was living within it, and it was very vivid. So it was absolutely terrifying.
Wow, that's an amazing dream. And
yeah.
I loved everything about it.
It was an emotional roller coaster.
It truly
I didn't know
was.
what was going to happen next.
Yeah, when you thought it would end, it gets worse.
Yeah, like the fish with the foot fetish, yeah.
Yeah, the fish with the foot fetish, exactly.
Yeah, just talk to my feet.
Can speaking, can you think of like any other like nightmares that you might have had, Quintessence? Like, I don't remember any nightmare. Like, they kind of all leave my mind.
I have one nightmare that kind of like stuck with me because it was like a recurring one.
Yeah.
Yeah. So basically, I would just be like, I would wake up in quotes, right? And I'd be in my bed, and I'd reach over to like pet my cat.
Mm-hmm.
But this time, instead of my cat, there was a hand. So I like touched the hand. I'm like, that's odd, right? So of course I look over, and I just see like these bright, sharp teeth, like in the darkness. I'm like, oh,
like Alice in Wonderland type cat thing.
Yeah, like Cheshire Cat kind of bullshit, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm like, okay, well, I'm just gonna, be done with this, right? And so I woke up again, right?
Mm-hmm.
And this time I reached over and the cat was there, and I pet the cat. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. I'm back. We're good. A little sleepy, but whatever. And then like I hear behind me, you can't escape that easily. And I was like,
oh,
fuck me. And that one actually woke me up. And I had that one like 5 times in a row. And I'm like, you just don't, brain?
Yeah.
It's kind of horrifying.
Is it your subconscious telling you that your cat is evil and to be careful? It might have been a warning from your subconscious mind.
Maybe. She's old and she can't do anything. She's fine.
Right.
Nice.
Yeah, no, I think that's about it.
Tenny, did you have anything else besides that nightmare that happened during your week?
This week, I kind of didn't really do much, honestly. Laid around. Yeah.
Well, I
nice
enjoyed your dream.
Thank you.
Quintessence, how was your week?
Yo. Well, my week was actually pretty great.
Really?
So, Yeah, my cat Thunder's been having some issues lately. She's 19
Right?
Oh wow.
and
She's an
she
old
was
lady.
losing a lot of weight. And before she was diagnosed with a hyperthyroid, right?
Right?
And so that can cause like weight loss, diluted urine, blood in the urine, a bunch of like different nasty things.
Mhm.
Mhm.
And so I finally was able to take her to the vet, paid a bunch of money to have some blood work done, urinalysis done, etc. And I found out that her hyperthyroid had like advanced, or she'd become like resistant to the medication.
Yep.
So it basically had like a resurgence, and that was what was giving her hell for the past like week and a half or so. And so we've doubled her medication, and her symptoms have been lessening over
That's good.
time, and things are
Mhm.
looking much better. Seems like my cat's not gonna die yet.
Yay! That's great.
Always
Very
good.
great news.
Always good.
Mhm.
That's actually
Oh,
I'm
I
happy.
don't know if anyone knows anything, but her normal cat thyroid levels are like 3 to 4,
Mhm.
and Thunder was at 13.
Oh damn.
So her thyroid is just working freaking overtime, grinding zones, getting over leveled. It was awful.
That sucks. I'm sorry. I
Yeah,
hope she's
but
feeling okay now.
she's feeling much better. Like she jumped over to this area right here and then jumped into my clothes bin because she wants to screw up all my clothes. So she's feeling way better. She
Cat
can be a
activity.
menace. It's good. It's good
That's good.
stuff.
That's awesome. I was actually
Yeah.
worried. I'm not gonna lie. Every once in a while, I worry about your cat.
I
You
know,
know,
me too.
being cat people. I'm sure she'll make an appearance today at some point,
Probably.
as she usually does. She also
She was
like
just playing in the tub earlier and then jumped in my lap, and so she got my pants all wet, and I'm like, great, awesome, thanks.
uh Tenny when his cat uh visits the stream or whatever it may be, she usually makes her presence known before
Oh,
she's like, I'm here.
Very, very loud. She's deaf now, unfortunately.
oh, that
Old
sucks.
age took her hearing.
She's
And
an old
so
lady.
her meows got even louder when they were already very loud.
Yeah.
I'm glad she's still
But she's
alive
still
and doing well.
happy and
Mhm.
kicking, so it's good. We're good.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Uh,
Yeah.
did you have
It's
anything
finally
else?
some good news for my week.
That actually, I
Uh
am really happy for you.
I started playing Path of Exile again.
Mhm.
It's been fun. Uh Twitch has been giving me hell. I just can't stream right now for some reason. It's like routing me through Taiwan for the server, and it's like, yeah, your bit rate's like 1,500 when you're trying to stream at a bit rate of 5,000. I'm like, yeah, no, that would happen if I'm going through Taiwan
Yeah.
Twitch. When I'm in the Pacific Northwest of the United States,
I
oh
didn't know
boy.
that they route you to a different country. That's so weird.
I mean, they're not supposed to. There's a Twitch server literally like 2 hours from me, but it's fine. It's fine. Everything's great for now, I guess.
Question: do you have Spectrum internet by chance?
No,
Okay.
no. I have CenturyLink.
Yeah, I don't even think we have that here.
We got it like a year ago. We used to be like a Comcast monopoly, and it was terrible because Comcast is terrible.
Yep.
But now I pay like half the price for triple the speed internet, so
Damn.
That's
it's
good.
good. It's good. No outages either.
Yeah, I'm gonna have some old man bitching to do about internet today too. Whenever I get to my week. So
You gotta bitch to your ISP. Be like, Spectrum, you motherfuckers, fix my shit.
yeah, I think
I want to stream to the youth.
the Ute. Uh, so got the cat, got
Got a cat. Path of Exile. Five nothing else really. Yeah, nothing else. Been good though, like it's all good stuff for
yeah, man.
once in my life.
That's
Very
good.
very
Yeah.
dreary.
even the stock market stopped going down. I think we have bottomed out. I think we're good.
So-
I've only lost like $2,000. We're fine.
Oh my god.
So okay, so wait, so when a stock market crashes, do you hold that
Yeah.
same amount? Yeah, like you say you lost $2,000. Do you still hold
Well-
the amount that you invested, or does that amount diminish over time?
Okay, so say for example, you buy a stock
Mm-hmm.
at $100. You buy one of that stock, right? You have one share of that stock, right? It goes down to $80. You have a net loss of $20 if you sell. Right? And
This is why if you never
bag holding
sell, you
comes
never
in.
lose.
Exactly. That's where I'm at. If I don't sell, I don't actually lose $2,000.
Exactly.
But realistically, stocks don't always go back up, and sometimes it's better to
Mhm.
sell before you lose even more. So yeah, so your $100 basically turns into effectively $80 in that scenario, which
Well-
is bad.
Will it last at $80 for a long time?
Who knows? Stock market's a fucking casino right now.
Stomps.
Yeah.
Yeah. And are
People
you
with,
sure
like,
it bottoms
20
out?
years. I mean,
I
it's
heard-
not going down anymore yet.
I don't know too much about this, but I just remember hearing something about Elon Musk saying that it's gonna get worse or something like that.
Nobody knows. No one freaking
Yeah.
knows.
Um,
People with like 20 years experience like in the stock market or like 50 years experience in the stock market are like, wow, all these like things I've learned, they mean nothing. It's just a fucking casino. You just all in on red. Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose.
Mhm.
that was like what was it when the whole GameStop market thing happened, and then
Exactly.
then
Yeah.
people found out for like 100% that the stock market is rigged, and because
Yeah.
because you know how they essentially were like, oh, we can't this trading, we got to stop it, so they like stopped
Yeah.
people from making money, especially
They paused trading like 5 times.
yeah.
However, when GameStop plummeted from $400 down to like $230, they didn't stop at once. Usually they have
course.
like stops when there's extreme plunges, but they were like, nah, it's fine. Just let it go.
Fuck them kids.
Fuck them kids.
Fuck them
Thinking they can make it
Redditors.
in this world.
So was there anything else that happened during your week, my guy?
No. No, nothing.
No. Okay.
All good things.
Yes. All right. So I guess I'll start with my week then.
Yeah, go for it.
So let me think. What happened this week? It's so weird when I have to do this, and then I'm just trying to think about everything that happened. And I know there's something interesting in there, but
Maybe you should write like a list in the future.
I usually do. I'm not gonna lie. Like the night
Really?
before. Yeah.
You sure? Because you kind of like stumble through a lot of these. A lot of ahs and ums.
I was thinking about my week, and what did I do? I basically, the things that are popping up into my mind is I beat Mega Man Zero.
Nice.
And that game is okay. It's not bad.
It's not awful.
It's really
So,
what I came down
it's
to.
pretty mid.
I don't know if it's mid, but I just prefer the old Mega Man formula better. Of like, you beat a boss, you earn an ability, which I think they
Now I've got your power.
now I've got your power. Which in this game they only have 4 abilities, and so one of the abilities is actually not to have an ability at all, because some abilities will actually do like 0 damage to like an opponent. Making it a little, it was a little frustrating, and like I usually like to figure out the formula of what a boss is weak to. but it also gives you weapon variety, so you don't necessarily just have like a blaster or, you know what I mean. It gives you like you have a staff and you have a shield that you throw. I'm trying to think of what else, and there's like a fourth item in there that I probably never use. But you know, you just have your regular sword, and you do have a gun, and you can actually use both weapons in different slots. So what I found out is that the game actually has a combo system that you can figure out. And so, like, say there are like glitches, like there's a shield glitch where you can literally just keep attacking, and the opponent has no iframes. Um, so I thought that was really interesting.
There's some speedrunner shit.
There was a lot of, I was looking at, so I finally learned, for whatever reason, as I've gotten older, the more interesting stuff about a game is the speedrunning stuff for me.
Yeah, for sure.
Because it's like just the base game. It's just like, well, I guess I'm going to charge my sword, and then I'm going to hit him, and then I'm going to run around, and then I'm going to charge my sword, and then you know what I mean? And then it kind of, but the more depth of whatever the game has to offer is usually what I find myself gravitating towards. And I think it's like that fighting game side of me that kind of like wants to you know, that looks into that kind of stuff. That, and whenever I struggle with a boss, I'm like, well, there's got to be an easy way to do this. You know, because, and I only say that because, well, speedrunners exist, and you know that they have like an optimized way of like beating a boss.
They're beating this game in like 20 minutes. How the hell did they do it?
I think I saw like somebody beat it in an hour, and I beat it in like 4 hours. So it's like, well, they got to be doing something right, you know?
Yeah.
And there are people that make tons of tutorials on how to play, you know, game speedrunning style, which is pretty cool. Like, I'm not gonna, don't get me wrong, I'm not gonna go through it and you know, be like, oh well, I guess I'm just gonna, you know, I'm gonna be a speedrunner now. No, I'm just trying to look for like the best way to play the game and have fun.
Yeah.
And that's really it. I started playing Mega Man 2, and like right off the bat, the game has quality of life improvements. It's like a better game. And you know, you love to see it when, you know, a game is like gradually improving through every iteration. You know, it's not the same game it was last time. It's like, oh no, we have all this new stuff, and it's like, oh, that's sick. It's like I think we were talking about Dragon Ball Z Budokai maybe it might have been last week or 2 weeks ago. It's hard to remember, but either way, I was like re-listening to the podcast and we were talking about it, and it was just like, oh, Budokai 2 is like better than Budokai 1, and then you were saying like, yeah, Budokai 3 is better than, you know, and so far it just kind of keeps, you know, getting better with each version, and it's
pretty
great.
rare.
Yeah, it is.
Unfortunately.
Yeah. It's like, you know, does Resident Evil 8, is it really better than 7? It's like, they're kind of the same game. It's got some cool stuff that's not in the other game, but like tech-wise, like ability-wise, does it really give you that much? And the answer is like, not really.
It feels the same.
It feels the same, yeah. So
It feels the same.
But I mean, I feel like with that formula, it's not so much necessarily about the tech you have. I mean, at least, you know, from what I know, I'm not a speedrunner. It's you know, it's about the story and experiencing, like, getting spooked. So it's kind of like a different experience altogether. I also have had internet problems this week. I found myself streaming on Friday. I actually started Budokai 3 because I've been playing through the Budokai series. So I beat 1, beat 2, moved on to 3. And then I think about 2 hours roughly into the stream, it started to die. My bitrate went from like 5,000 to like 100.
Oh, yeah, I was watching when that was happening.
Yeah.
You just turned into a PowerPoint presentation.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, it was really frustrating. And I was just sitting there trying to look through, and I started doing speed tests, and it was not good. And then I had my roommate also do a speed test because he was on the computer, and he literally was getting the same results. So I looked it up, and it finds out that you kind of have to call your internet company provider,
Oh.
and you have to have them come and figure out why your shit's all fucked up. Considering
Unfortunately.
we're paying for this to work, and and literally the same thing happened on Saturday. But I
feel
did
like
know.
I've had a sorry.
No, go ahead.
I was gonna say I feel like I've had a similar problem before.
Mhm.
Like I had to switch internet providers because I don't know why it randomly started to like die every time I stream. Like it would be okay before, but every time I start streaming and I stream for like around 30 minutes, it just dies like it completely for everyone.
Yeah.
So
They
it
they
might
were
be a
probably
similar problem.
throttling your upload.
Yeah, probably. But yeah, so
Pro-
we had to like switch internet providers because it just kept getting worse to the point that it would just stop even if I'm not streaming. Yeah.
Some providers can be really stingy and will throttle you.
Mm-hmm.
throttle upload. Like, I'm not sure what.
Yeah, they'll throttle your upload or your download or both, because
Mm-hmm.
some have like upload limits,
Mhm.
download limits, and what may have happened is you might have hit some kind of upload limit, and so they're throttling your upload.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, to be fair, I was streaming to do two different platforms.
Yeah,
So I mean, I was streaming from my phone and I was streaming from the computer. Mind you, I have
yeah.
the second best internet that you can have without being a business.
The second best.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not a business.
Time to upgrade to the best.
Yeah,
Backlog Incorporated.
What is it like? What's the best form of internet? It's like having a line service or something.
Uh,
I can't remember.
be anything.
Fiber optic like internet.
Fiber optic.
Yeah,
The little
Mm-hmm.
glass space in the tube. Yeah, fiber optic.
I've never even seen that. That sounds so rich. I've never even seen it. But yeah. Really frustrating. I think I'm gonna try to obviously not stream to two platforms because I think that's what's really getting me.
It could be, yeah.
Yeah. And then, I mean, also the thing that I think too is like we have a bunch of new people that moved in, so they could be like saying like, "Hey, you're using too much internet bandwidth for the rest of the neighborhood," considering your internet is shared amongst a bunch of other people.
That's possible, but usually they have
Mm-hmm.
like gates in place for each individual connection.
Yeah. And then I also noticed that the servers they were connecting me to was like one was in Montreal, the other was in like New
Yes.
York/Chicago. So I mean I live in Maine, which is kind of like in the middle, but like we're talking like 5 hours away, for a server. So I don't know. It was
That shouldn't be that much. That shouldn't be that bad.
again like I don't
In
really
theory.
know,
In
but yeah.
theory, it shouldn't be that bad.
Yeah, make sure you push your glasses up to your face when you say that. In theory. Yeah, there
In
you
theory,
go.
it shouldn't be that bad.
There you go. And then I think, oh, that's right. I did a charity stream on Saturday. That was kind of like impromptu. It was for a content creator named Galveris, who plays Mega Man games, and I guess recently his wife had passed away. So
Oh.
yeah,
Oh,
so
that sucks.
I wound up doing a Mega Man Zero stream through the Mega Man Collection, and it was really fun. Yeah, a lot of new people came through. I got to meet some cool people, and I'm actually gonna link the charity in the description, so that if anybody wants to donate, they can feel free. And yeah, it was a good time. And then yeah, I think that was pretty much it. And also I could say on a side note that the only reason I know that the Mega Man Collection, my issues with it was like, I think I briefly went over it. It was like, it felt very tedious when you die and you lose all your credits. You're constantly in a game over loop. I found out that you can grind credits, but it takes an extremely long time. Like, more than I think anyone would ever want to spend grinding a 1-up. Like, it literally took me like 2 hours of like being in a room, and I got 2 credits. You know, that's a credit an hour, man.
Just get good, dude.
Just get
That's all
good.
you need to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, you just need to get good.
Yeah.
Just beat the game without dying.
Now imagine if
That's the secret.
if you die, if you lose all your credits and you die because you don't know the boss matchup, and you have to start all the way at the beginning because you lost all your credits, you would not want to
Guess
finish.
you gotta
that
learn
game.
faster.
Yeah, I guess so. Even though, like, in that game, if you don't know how to beat a boss, you'll die on like almost instantly. So it's very unforgiving. Yeah. So in the Mega Man Zero collection, it fixes all of my issues where it gives you checkpoints, because in the original there are no checkpoints. So and I found the game like 100% more enjoyable. You know, because once you die, it just starts you out like right outside the room. You're good. You can just start again.
Baby mode.
Baby
mode.
Yeah, but like,
yeah,
it's really, think about it, it's more like speedrunner mode, because speedrunners will like, they'll pause on a certain situation that they don't know, and they'll keep going over it over and over and over again until they kind of learn the situation. Which is like, to me, it's like, because I had beaten it the first time, playing it a second time was more fun because I knew what to do, and you know what I mean? There were a few.
Yeah.
The other thing too about the game, at least the first game, is that, like, let's say you go on a mission, and you're like, hey, we need this blah blah blah, this train. So you go on the train. If you die, you no longer get to redo that mission. So you're like missing sections of the story as you're going through it. So look, you might as well just start over if you lose the entire game.
All right, time to start over.
Again, really frustrating kind of stuff where it's like, why is this so unforgiving? Why can't, I want to just experience the game as a whole. Anywho, that was pretty
That's how they padded the game out. It's not that long of a game.
That it's true. It's true. I found myself
they padded it out with difficulty.
They did, yeah. But I'm hoping that Mega Man 2 is still kind of like I think it realized a lot of its problems. And it's like kind of going back to it being influenced by like the X series, or even, because it has like the, when you're selecting a boss, it brings up the windows and you're like, you want to fight this boss or this boss. The other game didn't even do that. It just had a name. It's like, go to this place. And then you go there and there's a boss that you don't even know anything about. But yeah, man, I think that was pretty much my week. It was
Solid.
a good time. Yeah.
Other than Twitch being an asshole.
Other than Twitch and my internet
being an asshole.
Being a complete jerk.
Yeah. What you gonna do, though?
Also, I forgot to mention, I think we're going to be doing a review on Steam Deck this week.
Oh, nice.
Ooh, exciting.
Yeah. Because I think I've spent about a week with it, and I finally got like my terabyte mini micro SD in, so now I can actually have like modern games like Tekken on.
You can have a game on it. Yeah,
I can have that's not emulated. So yeah, I'm excited to see how that goes. But yeah, anywho, I guess we should move on to the questions of the week. If you guys are down. So let's see.
Hit me.
Question 1. What cartoon or anime do you wish you could live in for a week?
I'll be honest, I'm pretty stumped about this because I haven't watched anime in a very long time. So it's very much in the past. I can't remember too much of what I really liked back when I watched anime.
Only a week?
I mean, that's the question. I mean, it could be any amount. What amount of time would you want to live in?
What could I get like accomplished in a week in some kind of fantasy anime ass world?
Look, ultimately it doesn't matter. You could go into Looney Tunes for a day and drop a Acme Anvil on, I don't know, Bugs Bunny. You know what I mean?
Or hang out with Lola Bunny.
We pressed the Lola button. All right.
No,
See, I have a hard time answering this question too, but let's see. If I could pick a thing, see, I don't know, because I feel like
Okay.
if
I got mine.
all right, go on.
I'm actually going to go with the world of Mushoku Tensei because even like an average Joe, nobody know nothing,
Mhm.
can do basically whatever they want. Like you can learn magic, you can like learn sword fighting, you can like become a merchant, you can hang out, you can just do whatever you want because it's so like freeform. They don't have any like destiny kind of stuff going on for like powers and shit like that. So I think it'd be a fun time
So it's not like, for
visiting
example,
all like the locales and all that.
so it's not like you have to be the special to be able to learn something.
Yeah, exactly.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Why don't we open it up? Why don't
'Cause
we?
I feel like I wouldn't be the special.
No,
Definitely not.
I
Definitely
don't.
not.
I
No.
mean, I probably wouldn't be either. Why don't,
I would not be the main character.
why
I'm
don't-
like the comedic side character.
the sidekick?
I fail to make the main character look better.
You die in the second episode.
I fight the side. I could take him. I end up in the crater. Yeah, that kind of thing.
You're the reason why Goku goes Super Saiyan. Gotcha.
The
All right.
sacrifice.
Yeah,
Official
yeah, yeah.
friend.
There we go.
Why don't we open it up to any fiction whatsoever? So it could be a book or like I don't know. Why don't you you could just be a side character in Twilight? I don't know. Like the world at the top.
What would you do in the Twilight as a normal ass
Right?
person?
I don't know.
Live your
think
normal
as a
ass
side
life?
character,
You can
yeah,
sit
you're just
there
a
and,
normal
like,
person.
Eat a sandwich and watch vampires play
Yeah.
baseball. I don't know. That sounds
You wouldn't
kinda
even
fun.
see that because they like don't like do anything in public.
Yeah.
What if you just were in the woods, you stumbled upon them, like you were hunting?
Just eating your lunch. What the fuck? Werewolf just runs by. Okay.
Why are these kids so pale and glittery? Damn, they play good
And
baseball.
stalkerish. I don't understand it.
Yeah, right.
But she seems into it. I don't know. This is kind of murky. I'm out of here.
I guess she seems into it, but also it's like, man, why is this so creepy? This relationship that they have.
Because
Anyway.
it is.
It's very creepy.
It is.
I'm trying to think.
He's
I-
so old. She's so young.
I wouldn't want to say something like
And
Dragon Ball
stalkery.
Z. Because let's say I go into
No.
Dragon Ball, I'm more likely to die. Let's face it.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just a human.
Some threat invades, town explodes. You're done.
Yeah.
That's it. Game over.
I mean, how often has the world, not the world, but the people, a large scale, genocide happen to the human race?
All the time. Every fucking time.
Every season, it feels like.
Every arc, there's at least one.
Yeah, I think another
Or
part
multiple.
another part that's hard about the question is I feel like everything I think of, I'm like, if I go in as a side character, I'm just nothing. I'm just there.
Yeah, that's literally why I chose Mushoku
Yeah.
Tensei, because there's no requirements. I can just do whatever the hell I want.
Mhm.
What?
You're muted.
I'm muted?
Oh, no, never mind.
Did
I
it
guess
just...
you're lagging, or it was just cutting out. I don't know,
Yeah.
your mouth was moving and nothing was coming out.
Yeah.
I think it's because I turned my mouth away from my microphone. Here, I'll
Ah,
make a little bit of an adjustment. Considering...
sure. As you can see, mine is very close.
Well,
Mhm.
it's got to be. I think it's about 12 inches away from your face is the audio.
Yeah, it's 12, close enough.
So what you want to do is you want to make like this, and then you want to point it at your microphone, and that's the appropriate distance.
Yeah, see, that doesn't really work. I got some like long ass fingers.
Whatever, man. It doesn't ultimately. It doesn't matter. But as long as it's about that length, it's not an exact.
Yeah.
No.
I mean, that's like that.
As long as you're that far away, and you're not this far away, you probably be fine.
I mean, everything's great.
Yeah, you still sound fine. But anyway, yeah. So maybe
It's a good microphone.
maybe if we can't answer this question, we should probably just move. Because what comes to mind too is maybe Pokemon.
Yeah,
That's
that'd be
pretty
fun.
cool. Yeah, that'd be fun.
That'd be a good like secondary.
Yeah,
Mhm.
like you could get your own Pokemon, but also
Yeah.
your world is actually really terrifying. You know,
It's true. Every day could just be a like apocalypse.
Mm-hmm.
right? And not
In
only
fact,
that,
I don't know how anyone's alive. Magcargoes alone burn hotter than the sun.
wow.
Yeah.
Wasn't it also there's like a Pokemon that weighs like 12 tons that Ash just held in his hands or something like that? Uh,
Maybe. I
yeah.
know Arons are extremely heavy, like those little steel dudes that are adorable.
Mhm.
Yeah. So yeah, I would say Pokemon because I could catch my own Pokemon and have my own slave friends.
Oh, that sounds
Is that the
Yeah.
reason now?
No,
yeah,
that's
right.
it. But when you really think about it, it's like
Born into the wrong time, huh, Backlog?
it's like
God.
when you really think about it, it's like why is it really ethical to own Pokemon? I don't think so. I don't know,
I mean,
man.
Pikachu seems happy. Usually.
Remember that episode where he thought about evolving Pikachu and
Yeah.
it was a very dramatic episode. It's like, well, I use the
Yeah.
thunder sound and become Raichu. We lost that fight. What are we gonna do?
Instead, he'd hooked Pikachu up to a freaking bike, like power plant thing, and just supercharged him.
It's
Fuck
like,
it, whatever. We get shit done.
yeah, we gotta trade, man. All right, so let's move on to the next question. I think me and Tenny had talked about this a little bit, but what would chairs look like if your knees bent in the other direction?
No, I have
What?
a lot of questions about the premise of this one. Is it only the knees that bend backwards, or does the thigh joints also bend backwards? Because I can't imagine it being too different if it's just the knees.
Oh, see, this is. I mean, I guess it
So-
would have to be, right? What?
Knees
Yeah.
bending backwards means literally like instead of knee go down like this, knee go up like this?
I'm trying to think of yeah,
Because that would be backwards.
Yeah.
what if you could just
And-
rotate your knees, to where your knees are where your butt is. You know what I mean?
And I was thinking.
Okay,
Yeah, I
so
was
then there
thinking
would just be a hole in the back of my chair, and my legs would just kind of drape down over the side. My back would still be against the chair.
Yeah, I was
It
thinking
wouldn't be
if you.
incredibly comfortable, but
Yeah, if
it
your
would
joint,
work.
if your thigh joint doesn't also rotate the other way, I don't think it's very possible to sit because if your knees bend the other way, then then the back of your thigh doesn't really touch the chair because it has to go the other way. Then the front of your thigh has to touch the chair.
Does this
Also,
your
if my knees
joint-
were up, my feet would just be in the freaking camera right now.
Like the only way where the back of your thigh is going to touch a chair with your normal hip rotation would be if your leg is shooting up in the sky, kind of,
also does
or
that
like if you have your legs open or sitting in like the.
does that mean that we would have to sit like this, with the chair sort of in front of you?
I mean, you could technically.
Mhm.
No, because if you did that, then your legs would be pushing into the chair.
I think I sent the backlog reference pictures of Xavier Renegade Angels because he could sit in normal chairs and he has his knee backwards.
Didn't it?
I don't know if you guys know Xavier Renegade Angels.
I honestly I saw that show maybe a handful of times, and
Mhm.
I never I saw it and it was always so goofy that I never
It's so
understood what was going
good.
on.
I love Xavier Renegade Angels.
Adult Swim TV shows when they were at their weirdest, probably when
Mhm.
they just greenlit anything that was
Yeah.
extremely strange.
Squidbillies.
Squidbillies, yeah, or
Mhm.
what was it?
12-inch mouse or whatever.
Moral
it was called.
Oral.
Moral Oral was a great show.
Was it? Because every time I watched it, I
Yes.
hated it.
No, it's so good. It's so good. It's
I don't-
so dark.
I don't get
It's
it.
so fucked up.
I don't think I get it.
It's a shame.
But yeah, I think probably it'd be more like what you said. But yeah, Xavier Renegade Angel, I think when I look at that, I'm always thinking to myself, the creators are probably hey, let's make the most awkward looking thing while he's sitting in a chair and just not explain it.
I think they were just blazed out of their mind. They're like, dude, I got like this is a great
Look at
idea
him in this
for how
chair.
they should sit in the chair.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
So I guess the next question is, this is a classic question. I feel like this was popular for a little while. You
Okay.
get $10 million, but for the rest of your
Alright.
life, there is a super snail that is invincible and kills you by touching you. It follows you, trying to kill you, and it can board planes, like, at all times. Like, what would you do?
Like,
Yeah, like, so it can always,
oddly specific.
so it's like a following you for eternity.
Does it have to buy a ticket to get on the plane also?
I don't understand the snail
Because it's gonna have to work
economics,
a 9
okay?
to 5 to like get on that plane, and that I feel like that gives me ample time to get away.
That's true.
And if I'm honest, I just wouldn't take that $10 million. It doesn't seem worth it.
But a snail moves so
In
slow.
this economy,
Yeah, but you have to think about it. You have to be constantly spending your $10 million to get away. You can't even enjoy your $10 million. I'd rather
What-
just lay in bed without $10 million.
what constitutes a super snail?
I'm assuming that it means that he's not gonna die if you like step on him, or like.
Okay, so I just put him under a jar and just call it a day.
Maybe. I mean, like again,
I
like
mean,
imagine
just like grab a cup and just go. All right, cool, $10 million.
you may not see him
Nobody
coming.
move this cup.
Yeah, I don't know why I imagined him to be invisible because I was thinking super snails. Like, does it have like all the superpowers in the world? Can it like be
Right, can it
invisible? Can I not
fly?
detect him? Can it fly? Can it shoot
Laser
a laser through my
eyes?
heart?
I think the idea is that no matter what happens, he's coming after you. He's
Okay.
never gonna stop. He's like the Terminator,
Okay.
right?
He's kind of like it's kind of like the apparition from It Follows.
I don't know if I've ever seen that movie.
Oh, it's basically about like a sexually transmitted curse.
Yes, I have heard of that movie.
Interesting.
And like an apparition follows you everywhere and tries to kill you.
That's right.
But
yeah.
it's slow and invisible to other people.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I think.
But it can interact with other people.
Hmm.
It was a pretty good movie actually. I liked it.
I remember what happened. I know what happens at the end, but
Yeah. It also gets smarter.
it gets smarter. Like it
It
learns
gets
how to
smarter.
open doors.
Like no, it already knows how to like open doors and stuff. But like for example, so at one point in the movie, the main character escapes out a window,
Mhm.
right? And that's how they get away from it. The next time when they're in a similar scenario, they go to try to get out the window, but it's waiting there at the window.
Oh, okay.
Hmm.
So it like learns how you like escape and how you maneuver. So it's like slowly getting smarter and smarter and smarter, like
Right.
with regards to catching you, even though it's slow.
I see.
Yeah.
Well, that sounds pretty dope. So,
Yeah.
the real question is, would you take that $10 million?
I would not.
I mean, without knowing more, it's a maybe. Because snails,
Look, this is all you
Huh.
know about the snail.
I
You
feel
know-
like
you're
it'd
never
be
gonna
pretty
know when he
hard for a
shows up.
snail to board a plane. You know,
What if like 10 years
customs
from now,
is a bitch.
you're living in your house, your mansion, and you're sleeping. Then all of
Yeah,
a sudden,
and then you're dead.
a snail just comes into your room, like climbs underneath the I don't know, the door,
Yeah. Okay.
and he
And
comes.
then I'm dead.
Yeah, and you're
Yeah.
cool with that?
I don't even know because I'm dead. I went to
assuming-
sleep and then I didn't wake up.
I was assuming that the moment you get the $10 million, he already starts his hunt. He's like constantly on your trail. So I don't think I would want that trouble because I'd imagine that I'd be constantly on the run.
That's true.
Mhm.
That's very true.
Just like carving through like the jungles and shit. There's like a little snail behind me with like a little machete carving path. Also, like what's going on? I
mind
don't
you,
understand.
every time you see a snail, it could be that same snail.
I feel like it would look distinct from other snails.
But if you could
And also, I'd
shapeshift into
probably
other
develop
snails.
like a snail stomping syndrome.
I'm sorry, what?
I feel like I would just start stomping on snails.
Yeah, but you could die if you stomped on that snail.
Yeah, what if it's poisonous?
But it
and
wouldn't
grows a little
touch me. It
spike?
would be touching my foot.
No.
My shoe.
But it's a super
touches you,
snail.
period.
Touches you, period?
Yep.
Oh. Well, I guess I'm crushing it with something else nearby, like a rock. I don't know.
Damn you, Quintessence.
What's up?
Why are you being that guy?
It's just how I be.
So what you're saying is you take the 10 million.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah.
It would add some excitement to my life.
I mean, hey, you get to live in a nice mansion before you die, and you know, you get to drive in a Lamborghini. Maybe if you really want one of those. I wouldn't. But
Not really.
nah.
I feel like I would still live like very humble, even if I had a bunch of money.
You're gonna die any day.
Yeah, you're gonna die in
Yeah,
like 2 days.
but-
Why would you be humble with it in your bank account? Just
Why
don't
am I
do
gonna
it
die
at
in
this
2
point.
days? I can get away from a snail. I could like briskly walk away from said snail.
But it's a super snail. What if it has super speed?
It doesn't say anything about super speed.
But
Well, he didn't
either
say
way-
anything
Any
about super
super.
speed.
Let's say the snail is
True.
in your house, okay? How
Okay, I
long is
leave.
that snail gonna be in your house? You no longer have a home. Like you
Oh, I have $10 million. I could just get another home.
damn, dude. I wish
Yeah.
I had your optimism in life.
I have to have something.
I mean, like, I would be living it up at all points because I'm like, hey, I'm gonna die at some point. Right?
Yeah, me too.
Like, I got this $10
Mhm.
million. There's no way I'm gonna be able to spend it all.
I'm just sitting here gaming. I feel something on my leg. Shit. And I just drop dead.
His controller disconnected.
Right? Permanently.
All right. So essentially, I think we would all take the 10 million free. So I guess with that,
What? Teddy said she wouldn't
I
take the
would.
million.
Oh, that's
I
right.
would not.
That's right. my
I'd
bad.
rather
Yeah.
just live normal and peaceful.
Let's see. So I guess we can move on to the interview section. If you guys are cool with that.
Okay.
So I guess the first question, Tenny. The
Mhm.
people want to know, who is Tenny, and how did you get your start in streaming?
So, it's I actually started streaming very randomly. My friend, it was like when COVID just started, right? And it was during the summer,
Mm-hmm.
so nobody had anything to do, right? And my friend started streaming Minecraft, and the funny thing is, I never watched Twitch beforehand. Like I was never a really stream watching person. I never really watched Twitch
Mhm.
or knew any Twitch streamers or anything like that. So my friend started streaming on Twitch, and that's like essentially my first interaction with Twitch. I started like modding for her, right?
Mhm.
And then afterwards, her and some other friends were like, "You should stream too." And I was like, "You know what? I have nothing to do, so I'm gonna stream too." And that's essentially when I started streaming, which is pretty funny because I didn't even watch Twitch, and then suddenly I'm now streaming on Twitch, which is a funny little jump, I think.
Right.
It's quite the jump.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So, like with that, like, what was it like when you first started, and how did you kind of like really get gravitated towards streaming? Like, this is like you started right, but you're like, how is it like? This is what I want to do.
Well, when I first started, I like it was like a hobby thing, and because I didn't really have anything to do, and I kind of just set a schedule and I just started streaming according to my schedule because I had my friend as like a guide, right? Like I didn't know much about streaming, so I just essentially asked my friend who started streaming to like for questions, and I pretty much just did what she did, and she had a very frequent schedule, and I was always pretty committed to it. So I was like, you know what, if I'm gonna start streaming, like might as well just commit to it, right? And so I set up like a 4-day a week schedule, and I committed to it. I stream like 4 hours a day per stream, and like around 4 days a week, 4 to 5 days a week, and then just stuck with it. And once it got habitual, it was just easier to just every time that time hits, I start streaming, and it just became very normal, I think.
Okay. And I
Oh,
suppose
I,
go on.
sorry, I couldn't hear you for a bit. I think it was not catching your voice again.
Right. Okay. My bad.
No worries.
I'm gonna turn off my fan. Okay. So what? And with that, when did you start? Like, when did you decide to become like a VTuber? Did you start out as one?
Yeah, I did start out with one, and my reasoning to be a VTuber is also kind of funny because I was too lazy. Like it was the summer, and I didn't want to. And if I was gonna do face cam, I had to make sure that I look presentable every day, every time I stream. And I stream very frequently, right? And I really didn't feel like like doing my hair, my makeup, like every 2 days just to stream for like 4 hours. And I was, yeah, I was too lazy for that. So I saw like VTubers and stuff, and I was like, you know what? I could just be a VTuber. No one would know if
Sometimes you
I
just want to
looked
be a
into it.
hobo, you know?
Exactly. No one would know. I could be a hobo. I could be eating with my foot. You don't even know that. Like I could be
Don't
eating with
Eating
my
even
with your
foot
know.
foot.
right now.
Some people might be
Exactly.
into that.
A lot of like a huge foot theme going on with you, Tenny.
But yeah, like you wouldn't even know. So that's essentially why I became a VTuber. And it was only afterwards that I found out that there was this whole like VTuber culture and like all these like specific things that only VTubers do. I had no idea before because, as I said, never watched Twitch or like VTubers, so I had no idea about all the like the stuff that a lot of VTubers do like before they start streaming or when they stream. It's just a lot of VTuber specific things that they do. I didn't
Hmm.
realize until like maybe half a year after because yeah, I chose VTuber just so I don't have to show my face, and I was like, it's like I can not show my face and still have like a unique character to present and be like identifiable
So
and
it's
show a little like emotion and connectivity to the audience.
so it sounds like it's more freeing to
Hmm.
not have to show your face on a regular basis. I know for
Till I learn
me,
I become a VTuber.
I know for me personally, like I hate having to set up my green screen a lot of times,
Hmm.
to the point where sometimes I just don't have my camera on. I'm like, I don't want to turn on
Yeah.
my camera today.
The chair stream.
The chair
Yes.
stream. Um,
Yeah, it's a lot of work.
and it's like it's like maybe it's a hot day and I don't want to have my lights on in here, you know.
Hmm. Yeah.
So sometimes I understand the struggle can be real. Um,
Yeah.
hold on one second. I
And then
gotta
another thing.
go on.
Mhm. Sorry. And another thing is cuz I watched a few other like real life face streamers, and another thing that I find really freeing about being a VTuber is that like they've talked about how like they have to be conscious of what their face is doing because they're presenting like themselves while streaming, so they have to be. Oh,
Oh,
someone just joined. Hello.
it's actually August.
Surprise, I guess.
I need some like WWE music. No, keep going, Pee-wee. Sorry, didn't mean to interrupt you.
I
Oh,
guess
so
August has
it's all right.
joined the fight.
August, you sound
Yeah,
horrible.
he's one of our co-hosts, by the way. Just sorry if
I see.
he
Hello.
startled us, but go ahead, Tenny. I didn't mean to interrupt.
Oh yeah, so but yeah, so they've talked about how they have to be conscious of what their face is doing almost all the time because they can't make like stupid funny faces while they're playing games, like that just comes naturally. So they have to be
That's not
constantly
you.
have like a section of awareness that they have to reserve to like be conscious of what they're doing essentially. And I find that like I heard that and think that's kind of exhausting.
I just look like a dingus all the time.
Yeah, like, and I don't know, it's like it's like there's like a form of like anonymity that makes you more comfortable with like speaking your mind and just being more comfortable during your stream. It's like the psychology experiment of there's like multiple experiments where if they ask the person like the people participating in the experiment to make a choice or something, and they put a mirror in front of them and they have to see their own face, they make a morally or like societally acceptable decisions because they are forced to look at themselves and be aware of their presence in the society and the choices that like the impact that they make.
Hmm.
Kind of, yeah. So I think I just feel more comfortable and free if like I'm kind of behind a character.
See, I never
A
actually thought of it.
veil.
I never thought of it that way.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, sometimes I just like I just have a resting bitch face, and I'm just playing, and I'm like, why don't people like me? But then maybe maybe it is like the way people read your expression and look at you.
Hmm.
Boy, I didn't think I could
I know
feel
I go
more
like slack
self-conscious.
jawed
Yeah.
sometimes when I'm playing. I'm like,
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
It's full zombie mode.
And
Mhm.
Deep focus.
I kind of think maybe like the best for people that do stream and show their face, maybe the best angle and option is to just not care and just do you.
Mhm.
Like if you choose
Yeah.
to be a
Yeah.
VTuber and you want to do that, I think that's optimal. And obviously I think it's worked out really well for you. Especially with the facial expression, angle.
Mhm.
But yo, August, if you're gonna be, if you're gonna be a part of the interview, do you mind showing your face or turning on your cam?
Yep, I can do that. I
I'll
remember how.
Is he talking?
Yeah. If you can, could you I don't know if your microphones if you have a better microphone or what.
Using my headset, is that okay? That's the one I usually use. Is it not
You're
working today?
no, it's not that it's not working. It's just that you're kind of quiet.
You're
Okay.
very quiet.
Yeah.
I don't know how to fix that. Give me a second. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt things. I wasn't sure if you guys had started yet.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can't stream it this time. Because internet problems.
Got it.
So we
But,
decided to go with a little pre-recorded.
Cool. Very cool. Well, Pee-wee, I had actually a question for a VTuber that I always wanted to ask.
Mhm.
So like, as a VTuber, do you feel like, being kind of also a person and also using a virtual avatar gives you more permission to be a character that's like different from your personality, or do you try to like emulate your personality, or is it kind of like a combination of both?
I think with VTubers, like, it's it's like a very personal choice. Some people like to lean in more to like a character or try to play a specific kind of character type. But I personally, I think I'm just more so myself, but more like amplified for the entertainment of the audience. For example, I'll be more lively, for example, or yeah, just more excited, more lively to keep the mood or high in the for the streams. And but otherwise, I think it's pretty much the same for me. But there are people who would choose to play into a character, because like a lot of VTubers, they have lores, so there'll be like a kind of a fictional character, and they'll sometimes play into it, or they'll say things that kind of fit into the lore, or invite people into their streams with kind of a lore, like for example, oh, you're like a test subject in my, or like you're like a disciple or a worker in my like spaceship or something like that. They'll kind of incorporate their lore and have like a kind of a story going on in their stream with like a character. But I personally just I'm just a person. I don't really have that kind of lore set up. Yeah, it's just more amplified personality.
Yeah, I mean, I actually never really thought of it that way, but I have heard from, the people that do watch VTubers, like they always have some kind of memorable sort of, I don't want to say
Mhm.
cliche, but like something that, defines them and, separates them probably from other people, which I mean, I
Yeah.
guess makes sense. I mean, I don't know if you necessarily have any of those sort of, that lore aspect, but
hmm
um
I'm thinking about maybe making one, because I don't really have one, so there's like kind of inside jokes that we've we kind of made into my like make like temporary lore that's not really officially written by me, but it's kind of like an inside joke within my community that we would sometimes pull out sometimes, and it's pretty funny. So I think maybe I'll make that official someday in the future.
okay. Um
hmm
So I guess my next question would be, uh, what is your favorite part of streaming? And this is a double question. And why do you
hmm
think people keep coming back to your stream?
Hmm. Let me think. Well, I think my favorite part of streaming is definitely the community that it creates, like constantly seeing the same people come and say hi and like talk about each other's day. It's I think it's very nice. It feels like making friends, and that and the fact that my viewers, they know each other and they talk to each other. It's just very nice and wholesome to see. And they also talk about video games with each other in like Discord, and they hang out with each other to play games and stuff. And I think that's great. Like I really like creating a nice space for everyone to connect and be friends with each other, and meet people that they might have not been able to meet otherwise. So I really liked the fact that I could create like this really good space for everyone to feel comfortable and make friends with each other. And I think that's my favorite part of streaming, and I think maybe that's also one of the reasons why they keep coming back. Like they feel comfortable in the space, and they
Yeah.
have people that they know, and it's just a very good time for everyone. hmm
Yeah, I mean, I know that it was your community, and I think we were playing Guilty Gear, where I think I just
yeah.
happened to play you on stream. I don't remember if it was
Mm-hmm.
during the beta or if it was you know, the Steam release, but
Oh yeah, it's a Steam release. Yeah.
yeah, I started playing you on stream, and then someone from your community came and we played matches, and then you're like, oh yeah, I'll connect you to Tenny, and then you know that's how I met you guys. Again, like a
Mm-hmm.
super friendly community over there, and a really
Thank you.
nice group of people. And every time I come in
Mm-hmm.
there, everyone's like, hey, how you doing, Backlog? And it's like, oh, how's it going? You know, and it's pretty cool, man. So you know, if you guys have it, you know,
Yeah.
check out Tenny's stream. It's a
Thank you.
really nice group of people. Um, so let's see. So, um, what do you think are some of the shortcomings of being a female VTuber? From your
Mm.
experience, do you think being a female or a VTuber makes people categorize you or assume that you have it easier?
So I personally think I would like I personally think being a female VTuber definitely puts me in a privileged position, and I own up to that. It definitely helps being female and a VTuber because first of all, for the VTuber, I realized that it's a lot more easier for people to discover you because
Mm,
there's like a lot of people that streams on Twitch, but like the population of VTubers is significantly smaller than, for example, facecam streamers.
mm,
So if you're small and there's like a specific group of people that only want to watch VTubers and they specifically mostly only look at VTubers. So when they look for someone to watch and they look through the VTubers tag, it's a lot like there's a higher chance for them to find you than, for example, if you were just another facecam streamer, which you would kind of be drowned out by the hundreds and thousands of other ones. So it's a lot harder for people to discover. Like, for example, you go into any game tag, like, and there could be hundreds of people streaming, but if you put in the VTuber tag, there might be like 10 to 20. So it's a lot easier for people to find you,
yeah.
in like as opposed to if you were just another facecam streamer. Yeah. And being female definitely also helps because like I think a majority of the population that watches Twitch are like
Male.
straight males. Yeah,
Yeah.
specifically like males. And yeah, and a lot of them don't really want to watch males, right? I think they would most of them, like, they either watch females for the female a lot of times, or the personality and stuff. But when it comes to males, they're a lot more pickier because there isn't anything that attracts them outside the gameplay, so they're more
Right.
picky in terms of the gameplay that they show. Like, they're either like really good gamers really good gamers, really skilled in the game that they play, or a very like is like extremely entertaining personality, right?
Yeah.
Or
Now,
like very known in some aspect.
yeah, like I
Mhm.
think, you know, from my experience, it's like you have to be an extremely good entertainer. And some of the people
Mhm.
that have been, you know, very successful right off the bat are usually, you know, they have some kind of background in entertainment, like they're a
Mhm.
comedian or whatever it may be, or like they have like theater experience. And you know,
Mhm.
I definitely think, you know, it helps. Like also, you know, a lot of people really enjoy over the top kind of like entertainment of some kind, if like,
Yeah.
and I think a lot of, I mean, not to, you know, not to put the people that watch in a category, but it's like people
Mhm.
want to meet, it's like it's attractive for people to meet a woman who is into gaming and understands, like, you know, who they are.
Yeah.
You know, they feel like there's like some kind of a connection. And you know, maybe, you know, a lot of these people don't actually, you know, have luck with women in real life. So so, and you know, it's like,
Eggshells.
oh my god, you know, like this, you know, this cute female character is talking to me and she's super friendly and all these people are really
Mhm.
nice. And you know, it's kind of like it again, it's another reason why it's community building.
You
um
just
Mhm.
described
Yeah.
simp culture.
I
To an extent, yeah.
you know, it's I don't know, man.
I've,
So
I've always
Mhm.
thought there's like a crazy misconception in the world that like ladies out there don't like video games,
yeah, I
and
think
like
that's
the
yeah,
Yeah.
longer I've lived, the more I realize that's not true. But
yeah.
like a lot of guys on the internet still don't believe that like there are women that like video games. So I think
Well,
that's also
at
Yeah, I
one
think.
point it was pretty true, right?
Mhm.
What?
But gaming as a whole has become way more socially acceptable.
I think it's less of there's not really females that play video games, more of like in the public, like especially social media sphere on the internet, it's more of a male dominant field. So like
Yeah.
if you look at like pro players, it's all males. So like it kind of gives you the misconception that there's only males that play video games. But it's just that the ones that are publicized, the ones that are like in the public sphere, are all males. So it kind of gives you like like an incorrect look into the male female ratio in the gaming industry and stuff like that.
Well, I also think that,
Fair.
heavily at one point, female streamers were kind of taking over Twitch, especially with the
Mhm.
meta, and it was sort of like,
No, it was quite the meta, wasn't it?
well, I mean, I think there was multiple metas.
There were multiple metas. There were let's say gaming and non-gaming metas. So
Yeah,
like,
and it's like the meta, it's I feel like even as a female myself, I'd say it's like bring off entertainment. Sometimes if like it's in the middle of the night, I'm really bored. I don't want to think, and I don't particularly want to look at any games. Maybe I'll go look at a girl hula hoops. It's shiny lights. It's pretty. Lights flashing everywhere. It's good. It's good. It's aesthetically pleasing, and I turn
Right.
up and I turn off my brain and I look at those lights spin.
Yeah, it's like, it was
Unfair.
like, what was the guy that he had extremely high ratings, and he was just some kid who, like, if he killed somebody, he would just start playing techno and blast like fire in
Oh
his
my god, it's incredible. Yeah.
in his room.
Oh yeah.
It's literally
I-
like the epitome of like attention span, like oh,
Uh-huh.
flashing lights, excitement. This is amazing.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
very much monkey brain
Yeah.
activate.
Yeah.
got
People
that,
have
like late
Shame
night,
I didn't think of it. Damn
it's
it.
got that like late night public access television feeling where like you never know
Yeah.
what you're gonna see.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's one
Mhm.
of the greatest parts of streaming is that, you can kind of do whatever the hell you want.
It's
Mhm.
true.
I mean,
And
yeah.
oh no, you can go first.
I think it's, you can do whatever the hell you want. So you can have, flame. Like, I don't know why you would have flames in your room, but I mean, hey, if you're a rich
your
kid,
house
it's
to
got a
burn
lot of
down.
fuel. Hey, it's your house to. Yeah, exactly. It's your
Mhm.
house. It's your stream to burn down. I mean, I guess you'll get some, money or followers from it. So I mean, hey, it's a win-win or
I'd
a
be more
loss
Mhm.
concerned
win.
about the smoke.
That is true.
Yeah, I don't.
He's gotta have
So,
like a vent or something, right?
so like I'm sure this is, I don't know if you guys already asked this, but like as a female streamer, do you ever feel like that males are more overly critical of your gaming than they need to be, and like how do you like work past that?
I was kind of about to get into that, and I'll just like quickly explain that. Like, I've heard, of course, yeah. With that, I'm gonna add a little caveat to that. I've heard a lot of sexist comments from male streamers, in particular, saying that female streamers are taking attention away from them, which I don't fully believe. But I mean, I think we kind of lightly went
Yeah,
over it.
so well, in terms of the video game question, I think they're less picky if you're in terms of video games when it comes to female streamers, because I don't know, like they're not really here for good gameplay, right? They don't really have that expectation of like very good skills that they kind of have towards male streamers, because I guess the reason that they're here is like, of course they're here for the game too, but I guess the main focal point isn't exactly the game. Like they're not here to see like pro gameplay. They're more here for like interacting with the streamer, I
Yeah.
think. And yeah, and for the sexist comments, it's kind of, I think it's probably just like a self victimization mentality, because they like, because the way they word it is that female streamers are taking attention away from them,
Yeah.
and that's with the assumption that if they didn't exist, people will watch them. It's kind of a way to like push responsibility away from themselves as a creator onto other people, because if they're entertaining enough or have something that captures people, I'm sure people will watch them for them, even if there are like hundreds of other female streamers that are doing their own thing.
Yeah.
And another problem with these comments is that they kind of perpetuate that female streamers don't have to try. They
That's
kind of
true.
just get viewers for being a female, when that is not true. Like even like the people that get criticized the most, like Amaranth tries really hard. Like she works hard, and she
Crazy
works hard.
hours. Crazy hours.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't like, it's not really fair to kind of just categorize it as just it's because they're female. It's just
Yep.
that they happen to capture more attention for being female, but what matters in the end is still their hard work and personality and
That-
the community that they create.
Absolutely. I mean, in the streaming space, it's a fight for viewership. So you
Yeah, I
use
mean-
whatever tools you got. You know what I mean? Like all's fair in love and war and Twitch streaming.
Yeah, I mean, if you're attractive, it's like saying like, do attractive people have an edge? And it's like, absolutely, they have an edge. It's like, but can you control that? Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you could just start hitting your face. Just
Maybe
really
that
fix
works.
that.
Yeah. You know, honestly, I think the thing that is kind
Luckily,
of
I don't have that problem.
discouraging for me too is that some of these people that are saying this are successful people in social media, and at least from my experience meeting them, and it's sort of like, well, you know, everybody can win, and it's like what they're doing is never gonna, complaining about them is never gonna help you get
Yeah.
any better and to kind of grow as an individual. It's always what you're trying. Like, for example, I can think of one guy that I know who is extremely successful on Twitch, and all he does is stream games for 12 hours a day. And he just has a lot of people that, it helps your discoverability as you're kind of, the longer you stream, honestly. And it's like she said, she streams 4 or 5 times, was streaming, I don't know if she currently does, 4 or 5 times a week for 4 hours a day. And not only that, aside from building a great community and being relatable, but she's there. She's giving more time for eyes to be on her. So it's like, you got to think, it's like lifting weights. It's like you're getting the numbers, the reps in, the time. And I don't think that other people should blame like female streamers for their own shortcomings, whatever that may be. Like, you just have to think about yourself. Again, like she said, it's an excuse. 100%.
Yeah. And yeah, like them talking about like complaining about it doesn't help them out, and it kind of shows them as kind of petty and can't, they can't accept other people doing better than them, which is not a very good character trait to show people.
Right, and I think
Yeah, you're not gonna change that. So like, you make better content yourself. Like, you know what I mean? Like, don't like, be jealous of other people. That's not gonna help you. That's not gonna improve your stream.
yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. And again, like, I think it's like, it also is the successful people in social media that think, well, it can't be me. It absolutely, because I'm doing things right other places, so it absolutely can't be me. But like, again, you have people like, I can even think of Puking, who like sometimes has like 12-hour streams or 8-hour streams, and it's like he's grown faster because of it, because again, he's putting in the work to kind of get that result.
Pounding that pavement.
Yeah, he's pounding the pavement. So with that, did anyone have any other questions they want to ask Tenny before we move on to current events?
I actually had one. So like, to kind of like cycle back. You said that VTubers have a bunch of stuff that they do that's particular to VTubers. Could you like elaborate on that?
So I only realized after I became a VTuber that they have I think it's something that kind of translated from like the big corporate Japanese VTubers, where they have this whole thing of debuting. And what that is, they'll plan the specific day for their big debut. Like, they could stream beforehand, but they have like this official start day. That's kind of like their debut day. And before that, they'll like network. They'll like post a lot on Twitter to like get their name out there before they start streaming. So they kind of gather an audience that are interested in them and anticipating their stream. So and they'll just hype up the day and build connections. And then when that day comes, it'll be they'll like start off pretty good. Like, it'll have a good start because they already kind of built a pre-existing like support group before they start streaming. And yeah, it's pretty interesting. And they have and it's like this whole like elaborate thing of like showing their like revealing their model, like PowerPoint about their lore, about their interest, likes and dislikes and things like that. It's very interesting, and like,
Wow.
credits to all the people that made their art and assets and stuff like that. So it's a lot of stuff. It's pretty interesting. So like, and connected to that, I was gonna mention before about the upper hand of being a VTuber is that unlike, I feel like unlike like real life streamers or like there's like a tighter knit community when it comes to VTubers because it's like a very specific category of and kind of a niche kind of thing with when it comes to streaming. So like VTubers will try to connect with each other, and there's a pretty big community. Like almost everyone, like most of the big ones, like they know each other, and like there's always some sort of connection between, like maybe that VTuber, and that VTuber, like it. There's a lot of like mutual friends and stuff like that in the community, and like everyone is like very friendly.
Mm.
Maybe sometimes friendly to a fault because a lot of people, there's a lot of VTubers that did some problematic things but never got canceled because of that. but but yeah, and so that definitely also helps with growth because people know each other and they'll like rate each other or like tweet at each other or things like that, interact with each other on Twitter. And so I always found that pretty interesting. But yeah, so that's something that's pretty interesting about VTubers that maybe you won't know if you're not really in the community. But yeah, it's pretty tight knit. There's a lot of like stuff that they they do. There's like occasional VTuber trends that like almost all VTubers interact participate in if they're active on Twitter and like networking and threads and stuff like that. So that's a pretty specific VTuber culture thing that happens like outside of the Twitch sphere.
Wow, that's
Oh,
amazing.
okay.
So
Yeah,
what you're
that's a
saying
lot.
is VTubers actually help each other, is what I'm hearing.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
weird.
Because I will say, as someone who like kind of frequently looks into like streamers, or like I'm sure you've seen the Small Streamers Connect thing that probably everyone sees, and that has never, I swear, that has never helped anyone. It has never helped anyone grow because 90% of the time it's always about like really ultimately helping someone else. And it's never about them trying to help you or helping each other. It's always about, people just being selfish
About
in
number
that.
one, man.
Yeah,
It's about number one.
yeah.
They're trying to grow. They're just joining that. They don't want to actually put any like
effort.
themselves
Yeah.
out there. They just want to be like, "Hey, I joined this network. Other people promote me for me.
Yeah.
This is amazing."
It really doesn't work that way.
Yeah, it doesn't work that well.
At the same time, I think you're talking about like organized like growth networks, whereas like I think it's the small streamer organizations that are most beneficial. Like
No.
I introduced you to that person at my work that streams, and you guys have like rated each other each time. And I think like I think a big cool part about just being on Twitch and the Twitch community is that like you can like meet people and interact with their communities through like rating, and you can like grow your channels that way.
I think ultimately what I'm trying to say, August, is that it's only the people that put that work in to meeting those people and helping them that does that really ever happen. But rarely does that ever happen, is what I'm trying to say. Is like, rarely do you ever join one of those Small Streamers Connect and like you actually meet people. Like I've met, I will say like maybe 2 or 3 people ever through like the Small Streamers Connect, and it was only when I was going into their streams and like actively trying to be a community member and help them, you know what I mean, did it ever kind of work out that way. Like I said, like when I met Tenny, it was because of her community connecting me to her. But yeah, again, I suppose lastly, did anyone have any other questions that they wanted to?
I had one more question.
Yeah, go on.
Of course, I'm a latecomer, so you guys might already covered this. But like, did you guys ask about kind of like the technology of VTubing? Like,
No.
how long did that take for you to learn, Teddy? Like, what were some of the hurdles to that? Like, if you could do anything over different, would you do anything different?
So with the VTuber stuff, there's like two very when it comes to models, there's like two big categories. There's the 2D ones, and then there's the 3D ones, and they're both complicated in their own way. But if you're like starting out and you don't really have the funds to really invest into a model, because 2D models are extremely expensive and custom 3D models are extremely expensive. But there's this thing called a VRoid Studio that's like a free avatar creation program that lets you essentially make your own little 3D avatar that you could control through face rigging and stuff like that. And so a lot of people start off with that one because it's for free and you can try out streaming first to see if you like it. And that's what I started off with because I wasn't really sure if I'm going to stream and I didn't really have the money to commission like a very expensive model. But for 3D models, there's also custom ones. So people like on Blender, they'll custom make your model and they'll do all the rigging for you and paint everything for you, and that's also very expensive. But most VTubers, especially when it comes to corporate ones and big ones, they're usually 2D. And 2D ones are very expensive because it's like a two-man job. Sometimes one person does both jobs, but the art and the rigging come separately. And they usually they're like the cheaper ones, maybe they'll be at around $1,000, but the expensive ones they could get up to like 6,000, 7,000. Like if you have a lot of
Whoa.
money, you can put so much money into this because
The cheaper
yeah,
ones are 1,000.
yeah, like you can get maybe like a like a very like you get what you pay for, right? Like you can technically get like a $300 model, but it's not gonna look that good because it's a $300, quality.
Sounds
But
like that's my
it's
niche.
yeah, like it's really complicated because it's a lot of hard work that goes. It's a lot of love and hard work that goes into these models. So without considering the model itself, if you're for example maybe not an artist, you might have to commission someone to design your character for you before the whole process of getting a model. And then once you have that design, you have to first find an artist that is capable of drawing. So the thing about the art that you use for rigging that's different from normal art. Oh my god, cat!
Who's the cat's name?
Sabrina.
Oh, Sabrina.
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 Oh, it's so
Hello.
cute. Hi,
Hi.
Sabrina.
Yeah.
Aw, we'll fight her.
Why are you typing backwards? But yeah. So anyway, but no, that's really cool. Like, what kind of like? I assume it's not a normal webcam. Like, what do you use for like face cam?
Oh no, I use normal webcam. Oh, but I'll finish the 2D model stuff first. But it's really expensive because it's a very specific scale that people will like develop to for the art because um like if you look at a 2D model, like all the pieces move, right? And that's because they have to draw every single piece on separate layers, which is a lot of work. It's not just like one piece of art. They have to separate each layer, like the left eyeball, the right eyeball, the left eye line, like the eyelash, the right eyelash, the left like cheek and the right
Okay.
cheek, and like top lip, bottom lip, teeth, tongue. It also has to be separate so they could be rigged because they each have to be manipulated into specific shapes for each, for example, movement, mouth movement. So it's a lot of work. They have to separate the head, the neck, the shoulders, the arms, and stuff like that. The pieces of hair, like the bangs, the left hair, the back hair, right hair, all those pieces. They have to make sure that it's separate, and that's why it's so much work. Because unlike just a drawing, they have to draw each separate part fully and make sure that it's separated properly. And then after you get that art, which you probably pay up to or it's to $1,000 to $2,000 for, you have to go find someone that's able to rig it. So they go. So that's a program. I think it's called like Live Cubism or something, where they load all the layers onto the thing, and then sorry, my mom just opened the door. They have to load all the layers onto the thing, and they have to for each movement, for example, like left head toe, right head toe. They have to manipulate each layer so it looks like for example, I'm not a 30 model, but like if over here they have to shift the head, shift all the features, make sure like move the hair a little bit to the left, like so there's like it looks like there's gravity, and they have to do it for every like head angle, every tilt, blink, mouth movement. They have to do it for every single like possible like movement like area, and then when that all puts together, it could detect what your head position is in, and then show the same thing in the layers. But yeah, so it's a lot of money because it's so much work on both the artist and the rigger. So that's why it could go like $2,000 to $6,000 for the really good ones. Yeah, and another super cool thing about it that could really ramp up the price is that people can have also like figured out to do animations. So there's like expression toggles, but there's also animation toggles where they'll animate specific movements. So for example, if you toggle it, maybe they'll do a little wave or a little dance, and that's like completely like frame by frame, essentially animated by the rigger with the body parts. So it's really amazing. It's a lot of cool technology stuff. But when it comes to the when it comes to,
Yep.
oh,
Sorry. Oh, yeah. Keep going. Yep. Sorry. Didn't mean to
oh
interrupt.
okay. When it comes to tracking, the 3D ones use something most people use something called VC Face, where you can use it with just a webcam. Honestly, most tracking, so 2D ones uses things like VTube Studio or another program called like PDP Live or something like that. It depends on the program that you prefer. And the 3D ones mostly use something called VC Face, and you can use your webcam, but that has like less accurate tracking. So it pretty much tracks the points on your face and it reflects it on the model. But a lot of people invest in like if they don't already have iPhones, they'll invest in like for example iPhones because iPhone has that AR tracking that allows you to do the emoji thingy. I don't really know what they're called, but it's essentially the technology that lets them do the Face ID thing, because it scans your whole face in like a 3D sphere, and it detects all the little details of your face. And that's why they have the emoji technology where they could accurately show what your face is doing. So if people they want a better, smoother, accurate tracking, they could use their phone and connect it to their computer and use the AR tracking on the phone, and that allows them for more detailed like face changes, like squints, puffing their cheeks out, sticking their tongue out, like little nose movements, mouth movements, tilting their mouth to the left, tilting their mouth to the right, like just all the facial details that could also be tracked with the iPhone.
Does that also have to be animated too, though? Like when it goes on the.
Yeah, it's also a lot of animation for those ones, because there's like, I don't know, there's like 60 something like different facial tracking points for the AR ones, and so for the 3D ones they'll have to do all the iPhone tracking essentially blend shapes. So it could be like moved towards that blend shape depending on your facial expression. Hmm.
Does anyone ever like take their first of all, are like VTuber models like full body, and does anyone ever like take their model on the road like over to VR chat or anything cool like that?
Oh, so the cool thing about 3D ones that 2D ones can't do is that 3D ones you can indeed kind of import it into the VR chat file
Oh.
version, and then they could indeed, and if they have like the full body tracking suit for VR chat, they could indeed put their model into the VR chat, and that's why a lot of, like, for example, corporate VTubers are getting 3D versions of their model so they can exist in a 3D environment if they want to, or like VR chat. So that's pretty cool. But 2D ones are kind of, stuck in the screen space, 2D
The
screen
2D,
space.
yeah,
Stuck in
2D.
2D.
yeah.
Yeah. Hmm.
Stuck in
Um,
the second dimension.
So 3D is the play.
3D is the way to go.
Well, 2D is still the most popular
Cheaper.
and well, yeah, but yeah, 2D is still the most widely accepted form, because with 2D there's more freedom in terms of what you look like, I think, because like you could choose the artist based on their art style, right? And so there's like a more unique expression through like choosing the artist and showing yourself in a specific art style that like kind of comes with 2D. And there's more like, you know, specific tracking and animation things that you can only do with 2D. So that's pretty cool.
Mm.
Is
Mhm.
your model 2D or 3D? Because I honestly I can't tell.
Oh, mine is 3D. Yeah.
Oh, definitely
Hmm.
3D.
It's
Yeah.
very cool.
Yeah,
It's
you
very
can.
cool.
It's like there's like a
I've seen her turn her head and stuff. I'm like, yeah, that's a cool
yeah.
model.
Yep.
Hmm. Thank
Um,
you.
so with that, we should probably move on to current events.
All right.
If you guys are cool with that.
Yeah.
Uh,
Dip out for
Oh,
1
before
second.
that, I should probably
Correct, let's go
specify something.
go on.
Oh, yeah.
Um, yeah, so I didn't mention it before when I started with the motto. So mine, I said I started off the V-Rate motto, but I forgot to mention that my current motto is not a V-Rate motto. It's kind of a revamped uh VR chat model that there's like the site where people have like pre-made VR chat models, and I kind of took one with a base that I liked, and I put the hair that I wanted, and I changed the textures to look something more unique for me. But yeah, so that's why it looks a little it looks more like 2D anime than for example Vroid models. But yeah, it's just I took the essentially, stripped the I bought a VRM not a VRM, a VR chat model like file, and then I stripped the hair, the clothes, and everything, and it just changed the texture as well to into something that I identify with more. Hmm.
OC, do not steal.
Oh, see, do not say yes.
August, you said you were gonna dip out.
I'm gonna dip out real quick because I drank way too much water. But start without me, and I'll be right back.
All right, man.
Don't worry, we already started out without you.
All right. So with that, guys, the first on the docket is Capcom Fighting Collection is not a hint at any series revival. Specifically referring to the Darkstalker series.
Yeah.
Let's see. So I mean, I'm not terribly surprised about this. They have had zero faith in Darkstalkers for years. But I think they actually, I'm sorry, on a broader spectrum, um, On the broader spectrum, they mean any game that is involved in the Fighting Collection whatsoever. So that could
Oh.
be,
It was just like a last hurrah kind of thing for these games, it seems like, more than anything.
I mean, I think what they're trying to say is that they'll put them on a collection, but they're not going to revive the IP itself.
They're not going to make new ones.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Yeah.
And I mean, unfortunately, I think a lot of people want a Darkstalkers revival, but realistically, will those people actually play the game?
That's the problem.
I don't think so. I think it's going to be very niche, hardcore audience that are playing this in the first place.
Yeah. I mean, like, we would have had more Darkstalkers if people bought the games and played them.
Well, there was
where we are.
There was a Darkstalkers revival announced, I want to say almost 10 years ago at this point. That nothing, and it had like a trailer and they showed it at E3 and nothing came of it.
It must not have been enough interest.
Yeah.
It exists in the alternate timeline in which,
in an alternate timeline, instead of Street Fighter being the main franchise, it's Darkstalkers.
Well,
Street Fighters never took off, man. Darkstalkers, yeah, no, that's great.
I want to live in that timeline either.
That Final Fight 89 never took out off.
In the same vein, Tekken's garbage and Virtua Fighters on Virtua Fighter 8.
King, yeah.
Soul Calibur is more popular than League of Legends, I believe it.
Man, they really need to bring back.
How'd you relate
Tekken.
those together?
I have no idea.
I mean, man, Tekken's gotta blow us freaking away after that Street Fighter trailer. Damn.
Yeah, I mean, definitely Street Fighter was like, "Yo, you guys want a new fighting game? All right,
hold my beer."
Hold my beer. And they've needed to do that. I mean, Street Fighter V really didn't pop off when it first was. I mean, people were excited, but I mean, the mainstream audience wasn't feeling it.
I hated Street Fighter V when it came out.
Wicket Gate. It was just a very bland game. That was my biggest complaint about it. It had some cool ideas. Like I liked the up close, very action oriented combat. It was a lot less defensive than 4, but I mean, there just wasn't a whole lot of depth there.
But that was kind of the problem.
I mean, ironically, they're bringing back a lot of mechanics from Street Fighter 4. So
and mixing some 5 in there.
They're mixing some 5. Yeah, I think they're finally kind of making the perfect blend of the
no more problems.
Yeah. I'm sure there's a pun in there, but I don't. I'll let you guys build up on that. Yeah.
I think it's a joke.
More more problems? I don't know.
So let's see. So along with that, the irony of the situation, Capcom suggests that they could revive some of their dormant game series, but it's not. Oh. It's obviously not going to be Darkstalkers.
But it's not the ones in the collection.
Absolutely, yeah.
I feel like this was like a preface thing to be like, okay, we are bringing things back, but not these. Okay, so don't get your hopes up.
Yeah, and it's kind of like, just take these, be satisfied with this that we're giving you. Because there's nothing more of
you
this.
even have this collection.
The thing is, too, is if this thing sells gangbusters, they're probably going to run this back. They're going to be like, no, well, we said that, but...
100%. Like, you can only judge...
True, Red Earth 2?
You can only judge a company's statements a business quarter at a time.
A quarter mile at a time? Yeah.
Quarter mile at a time, yeah. So, like, I mean...
Quarter kilometer at a time.
It's just like when they ask the Marvel actors that we know have been cast in a Marvel movie. It's like, hey, you in that Marvel movie? No, I'm not. And then a month later, oh yeah, the next lead cast in something. Like,
who would be in a Marvel movie? Not me, that's for sure.
I would never play Spider-Man. I've never played Spider-Man before.
Not this guy.
Not this.
Meanwhile, has it like a Spider-Man mask sticking out of their pocket.
Even though they all literally, when you look up, unfortunately, the internet exists, so people have had encounters with these people, or there have been leaks, and then the actors literally hint at it, or tell people on the street that, oh yeah, that's happening. Like, yeah. I think there was a thing where, when they were talking about No Way Home, where someone met Tobey Maguire at New York, and he's like, hey, you playing Spider-Man again? And he's like, he just like winks at him. And then it turns out to be true like a year later. Or, what is it? Who is the other actor that
I'm
was...
sad he just winked and he didn't give him the full finger gun.
He probably did, yeah. And he probably just did
Full
like
finger
start doing
guns,
the
the little
Spider-Man
emo
dance.
dance.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. So who? Wait, I can't remember the other actor. He's the Amazing Spider-Man actor.
Andrew Garfield.
Andrew Garfield.
Andrew
Yeah.
Garfield,
There
yeah.
was also like an interview with him where he's like starts again winking at like people who are asking him questions, like kind of making it super obvious. And then the leaks came out of like the blue screen behind him. He's like, "That's not me.
He
This
just had
isn't
something
real."
in his eye. It's
Yeah,
fine.
exactly. Yeah.
Fake. That's
They're not supposed to like say that. I think that's part of like their agreement. Is
Oh,
they're
yeah,
not
it's-
actually
I'm sure it's in their
supposed to
contract.
say.
yeah.
There was literally a month where like I think the movie Kiss Kiss Bang Bang was coming. Was it Kiss Kiss Bang Bang? Or whatever the movie he was in. No, I'm thinking of a different movie with Robert Downey Jr. But
Tick boom. Tick
Tick Tick
boom.
Boom. Anyway, when that was coming out, where he was promoting it, and it was around the same time as Spider-Man, and he literally had to just lie for like I don't know, like 2 months to people, like, "Oh, this isn't happening. No, I don't. No way. That's not." And then it comes out, and he's in the movie. I can't imagine lying that much, and that well too. So with
Trained actor.
with that, with the Dormant series, it's suggested that obviously like series like Resident Evil is going to continue, Monster Hunter, but it's saying that they're going to bring back series like Lost Planet, Power Stone, Okami specifically. Beautiful Joe is suggested. Permanent Potter fighting game franchise with hardcore fans. It has a new
I don't
entry.
know if I want another Okami.
Oh, Dragon's Dogma too. Why not? What's wrong with
I don't know. I feel like Okami's story was just over.
like it kind of doesn't need. Well, it does have a sequel on the DS though, doesn't it?
You want an Okami game based on the wolf from Dark Souls 1?
Sif.
Yeah.
Aw,
Sif Kami.
but he dead though.
He good boy.
Um.
But his son could take on his legacy.
Oh boy, yeah. Oh my God. The amount of times that people have used the son taking on the sequel angle inside a video game or a movie, or anime, especially if it's an anime, it's always a bad decision. Usually.
True. Gohan was awful.
I mean,
People
Boruto
didn't
has
like him.
fights. That's all
I
I'm
know.
Or even like I don't know, is the new Inuyasha, like with the Inuyasha kids, is that?
I thought that was doing well.
I have no idea.
I heard it was doing well. I haven't seen it.
Well, it
'cause I
has
don't
500
give a
episodes,
shit
I'm not
about
gonna talk about it.
Inuyasha.
Until it has 500 episodes.
Yeah, like until it's as many episodes as the original Inuyasha. I'm not gonna talk about it.
Fair.
All right, so I guess we can move on to the Sony State of Play then.
All right.
So
The juicy one.
some of the games that were announced is Resident Evil 4, Spider-Man Remastered on PC, Horizon Forbidden West update. I don't really know what that entailed. Horizon Call of the Mountains for PSVR 2, which is a great name for PSVR. The Callisto Project trailer came out. Roller Dome, Ether Knights, Resident Evil Village for PSVR 2, Final Fantasy 16, Street Fighter 6, Tunic is coming to PlayStation, Season, A Letter to the Future, and Stray, the kitty simulator. Essentially.
Kitty Cyberpunk Simulator.
Cyberpunk simulator.
With some like Resident Evil mixed in.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, what?
Yeah, there's like monsters and shit.
In what
There's
game?
that
Sorry, I
kitty-
didn't.
and you gotta run
In Stray.
In Stray? Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Actually,
yeah,
that
there's
game.
like monsters and growths and all kinds of icky shit.
So did anybody get a chance to check out these trailers?
Yeah, I saw all of them.
Yeah, I think I just missed one. I watched most of them.
So with that, yeah, it does say Cyberpunk cat game. What the hell?
I mean, yeah, You're just like a mail delivery cat.
Oh man, with what
It's
the hell?
Death Stranding
Death
too.
Stranding?
Yeah.
Cat Stranding. So with that, guys, did anybody have like anything that really stuck out to them? Does anybody want to talk about Stray first, or the
Uh,
Yeah.
I thought Stray looked super interesting. Like
Mhm.
we've seen the announcement before, and I was just kind of like, okay, cat game, cool. But then now we have like the actual like gameplay trailer where you're like doing like all this like parkour stuff and being awesome and delivering letters and interacting with people, escaping monsters, escaping robots. It seems really interesting. It looks like a fun game. Like a fun
And
little platformer survival type thingy.
yeah, and with the beginning of the trailer with the tiny cat and the like really long TV man, it made me think of like Little Nightmares. Kind of, it gives me that
Oh,
vibes.
yeah, same.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know who thought that like having a cat deliver mail would be a good idea, because I feel like that's the worst idea.
Good idea, but I
It
mean,
has
the
like a
tech is
robot that
super
guides
cool.
them. It's fine.
Yeah,
Yeah, but cats like are just like, well, what if the cat's just like, I don't care, I don't want to deliver this mail. He's not gonna do it. He
yeah, but
just
you are the cat. That's
oh
the
Yeah,
that's
but
the
you
thing.
are the
oh,
cat.
I am the
Oh, I
cat.
liked how many things it knocked over in the trailer too. It was very cat-like.
Perfect.
True to
Yeah.
life.
I'm feeling
Yeah,
it,
no,
man.
I am too. I am too. I think it's a game I will certainly watch someone play. I don't know if I can emotionally handle playing it myself, because if I get a game over, I'd probably like cry for like 15 minutes.
Yeah,
But like,
true.
it definitely looks fun.
You know, somebody's gonna have like a death scene cat compilation
Oh,
somewhere on YouTube.
Oh
Yeah,
no.
Come
some asshole.
on.
Yeah, right. Um,
It'll just push me to be a better gamer so the
like
cat
those
doesn't die.
Tomb Raider death compilations. I couldn't do it.
yeah, honestly, for me, I feel like this is like the most original, one of the most original games that have come out in a while, at least on a major platform that like Sony has promoted. You know, other than
Yeah.
like, you know, the Steam games that people have been taught, you know, that pop up every once in a while. I'm
Yeah.
really happy that they're actually putting their faith into something that's, you know, not God of War or, you know,
Definitely.
Spider-Man or
Unique
something.
and new. Unique
I'm
and
just surprised how fast like the opinions on the game shifted. Cause most people were like in my camp with the look, cat game looks kinda okay, fine.
Hmm.
But then this new trailer came out and people were like, this is pretty hype. I'm gonna get this, you know? Like it shows what like a good trailer can actually do for a game.
Mhm.
I think the first trailer had more cat bat. Um,
And more cat walking around doing nothing.
yeah, I mean, I'm definitely interested to see
It looks like
why
a whole different game.
it does. Yeah, I mean, I don't know why like all of the enemies are cat shaped, but or cat sized, but you know, I'm sure it all kind of relates. I'm interested to
Oh,
see
I'm sure
where the
there's something giant that'll just grab you and ruin your day.
you just
See,
can't let them
like
pick you up.
that's what's crazy. Like the giant would be human sized because you're playing from the cat's perspective.
Exactly.
It's like it's all
It's like when
relative.
I pick up my cat and she gets really upset. I have to imagine, oh, what if I was her size and someone randomly just picked me up? I'd
Yeah,
be pretty upset too.
Right. Um,
yeah, it's a cool sounding game. The other games
Yeah.
on this list honestly sounded really cool too. Like I
Mhm.
know there's that one like Arc Knights or not Arc Knights. That's a mobile game. What was it? Knight something Knight. Errant Knight. You said it.
here,
Oh, Either Nights?
Ether Knights.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It's gonna be like a mix
Oh,
between like a
the dating
VR
sim.
dating sim and like an action JRPG.
Oh my
Like I'm
Yeah.
god.
assuming it's gonna be almost like a Persona, but like not quite. But it sounds cool. Like I love action
I
RPGs.
thought it looked awful.
I can't wait to not play that.
I also can't wait to not play that. Also, the scene with like hold hands by holding the like
Oh
R2
my
or something
god.
is so funny.
People are memeing the hell out of that.
That's
Oh
why
my
it'll be
god.
Hold
great,
down
guys.
R2 to hold hands.
Oh my
That's
This
why
is all I've
god.
ever wanted.
too late.
Finally, human
Finally, I
connection.
can hold my waifu's hand.
Oh man.
Bro,
Nah.
I don't know. This
Every
like
day we stray further from the light of God.
I think that's the perfect amount of cringe for me. That
is
sounds
it
hilarious.
is it
Yeah,
because
I think it's probably gonna be hilarious.
For me, it was like when I played New Gundam Breakers and I found out there was a waifu simulator, and specifically the story about Gundams revolved around waifus. I became immediately uninterested
I'll
in.
They
agree
always
that-
do.
I'll agree that
There's
ruined that
always a
for me.
waifu in Gundam stories.
Usually, I feel
Who's
like.
an integral part of the story, by the way.
Well, I don't know. I kind of always felt like certain Gundam games revolved around husbandos, but I mean,
I mean,
particularly.
games, some, yeah, but most games just like follow one of the multiple Gundam narratives, which revolve around some kind of plot, which always have like a center female character.
Which usually has like a love triangle, like Gundam 78 or 79.
Sometimes.
Yeah, like
sometimes.
Kilala from is it Kilala? Something like that, but from the original Gundam. Like her and Char, Amuro, and her had like a love triangle, which was like a
Yeah.
like other than them hating each other, it was like a center for tension.
Yeah. But it was also like one of Amuro's like driving forces.
Well, yeah, because she's like a new type, and Amuro just wants to be with her, but Char likes her, but also wants to weaponize her.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Every mecha anime with teenagers.
yeah, as they all
So
are.
every mecha anime.
So every
Yes.
mecha anime.
I think they're all teenagers all the way up.
You're not wrong. But I don't know. Tenny, like, did anything else in this list stick out to you? Like, is there anything you'd play on stream? Like, I don't know.
Well-
I assume you play a lot of fighting games, but I don't know if you play anything else.
Well, I don't actually play as much fighting games as you think. Like the only one that I really play is Strive, and I haven't been playing that too much recently. But I think the one that I'm like pretty excited for is Final Fantasy 16.
Hey,
That looks super sick. Like the graphics is amazing, and like the fighting from the trailer, it makes me think of like Devil May Cry with how they're like zooming around, jumping, and like all the light effects. And I think that's really sick.
Kaiju
Yes.
battles with summons. Kaiju battles with summons.
it sounds pretty cool.
You freaking just beat the shit out of Shiva or whatever.
That's
Awesome.
That looks sick.
Yeah, it seems like
Also,
they're-
we're going back to like fantasy. We're going back to the fantasy part of Final Fantasy. It's wonderful.
yeah, that's true. It's not even like 15 or
Yeah, road trip.
or like the road trip one or 7 where it's like kind of like it has cyberpunk aspects to
Yeah,
it.
no, we're more
Like
of like
driving
a
around
Final
in the car
Fantasy
with Boy
like
Simulator?
4-ish kind of timeline. It seems like.
Boy band simulator. Yo, August.
Yeah, I was gonna say, you didn't like boy band driving around.
They
in
had
the
a cool
car?
car. They had a cool
The
car.
was really cool. Cool. You could like
Yeah.
fly and shit.
Yo,
Fly, go on water, do whatever you want. Great gas mileage. It was perfect.
Wait, do you have to get gas in that game?
I mean, you have to make
The
stops.
gas station. I can't remember.
Yeah.
Actually.
Well, August, do you happen to have like a different microphone by chance, like that you could try to use?
Only have this headset. Am I like super quiet? Like, how bad is it?
It's like usually the normal amount of bad that your microphone produces. Yo, you need to buy a microphone, dude.
We plug it in.
Whoa, Jesus. And
Now,
now you have no sound.
now you have no
Okay.
sound. Yeah, no one can hear you.
This is actually a downgrade.
Yeah, you actually downgraded. I think it's because you have to go into settings and then you have to change your microphone.
Yeah. I could try turning off like the noise gate. I don't know if that's gonna help.
Oh,
I
no,
think-
that
It'll
won't help.
definitely-
that won't help.
the noise-
anything.
Yeah.
No, don't you dare.
I think if you go into sounds and you go to the recording devices, you can like if you go into the properties of it, you can increase the microphone level to
Yeah,
pick up more
that might work.
sounds.
Yeah,
That also might sound horrible. We'll see.
but hey, I mean, at least we'll be able to hear you.
True, but it
Um,
might just be.
Exactly. So yeah, with the Final Fantasy 16, it looks really good. I'm excited to see them go back to fantasy, like you were saying.
Yeah.
The summon battles, obviously, they're going to be heavily related to sort of. Oh my god, what was I going to say? Like the combat system is going to be similar to Final Fantasy 7 remake and Final Fantasy 15.
15, yeah, it looked very 15-ish
Mhm.
with the combat.
Yeah,
But 15 had good combat. Well, good-ish
Honestly,
combat.
I've never really played any Final Fantasy game because I don't know, I never really grew up with it. The only one that I played is Final Fantasy 14, which is very different.
right.
A
from
little
all
bit
the
different, yeah.
Yeah.
So am I any louder?
No.
Not really. No.
Oh, that's so sad.
When you use your laptop's microphone, I could hear you better though.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you want me to go back to that?
Yeah, if you could just change the microphone. You don't have to unplug your headset, but change your microphone.
Is it better?
Oh,
Okay.
Jesus.
Change
Ow.
your
Wow.
microphone.
Oh, sorry. Ah.
Change your microphone. Change your microphone. Change the input to the headset.
Yeah, we can do that.
It's fine.
How? That was
And then
loud.
we're gonna turn you down because you're at 200%.
I had him at 200 and then just
Yeah, me too.
I was assaulted.
All right. So I guess
Neighbors woke up.
from that we can move on. I don't necessarily care too much about the. Are you changing your settings at all? Because if you're not, I'm going to turn you back up to 200.
I'm working on it. Okay, speaker.
All right. I don't really care too much about the VR stuff because I'm never going to have PSVR 2.
Yeah.
Is anyone else
It's
going to
kind
have?
of funny.
PSVR 2?
The Resident Evil Village having VR is kind of funny though. Everyone can finally firsthand. People with VR can finally, firsthand experience the tall vampire mommy.
The Mobby Milkers.
Give her a nice little
Yep.
slap.
Bro, I still can't
Download
believe
that fly swatter mod.
Oh, only on PlayStation.
Is that better?
No, but it's fine. We'll deal with it. I'm gonna turn you back up
I
to
felt like
200.
I was alone in the internet thinking she wasn't that attractive. I was like, I'm just in a fucking wasteland. I'm like,
I think she
she's
appeals to
okay.
specific people.
Yeah,
like I
specific
think
group
she's
of
okay
people.
too, but yeah.
If you're on the
Yeah.
you want to be stepped on demographic, then
Uh-huh.
Yeah, exactly. I'm not part of that.
But I feel like they kind of lately video games have been zooming in on that demographic. Specifically.
Yeah, definitely.
You mean having strong females?
underrepresented demographic, I would say.
Like literally
small-
strong? Not like well written, just literally just strong as hell.
She's just angry all the time.
She's just angry, big, and strong.
It's just a whole lot of kink going on here.
And only in like a fourth of the game.
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't surprised. A lot of people were kind of like,
I thought she'd be a bigger part.
no, everybody did, but I don't think Capcom knew that she was going to be as like
What do you
Mhm.
They
big
made the
as she
game.
was. They did, but again,
As big as she was.
She was
As
she
big as
was
she
at the
was.
forefront of like all advertising.
yeah, but you can't expect viral marketing to happen from I really don't think that they expected her to be that big, or you would have she would have been more in the game. But think about it, when any character that has a nemesis system is always gone, usually a third through the game of any Capcom Resident Evil, typically.
I
Like,
guess, but
It's always the first part of look at RE2 Remake or RE3. They kind of eventually the nemesis characters. Oh look, it's our special guest. Meow, I'm here. But yeah, I just didn't think that they knew that it was gonna happen. Let's see.
This is looking over like, oh, you're approaching me.
Oh, you approached me. So yeah,
oh,
I mean, I'm happy for you guys. Did anybody see the trailer for Roller Dome?
I did. That looks
The art
sick.
style is neat. Doesn't look like a game of play, but the art style is neat.
To me, it looks. It's like a jet set, but not a jet set. I don't know. I really like the physics of that game. It looks very cool.
I didn't think it looked anything like Jet Set. Jet Set has like its very own style.
It definitely has a Jet Set vibe, in my opinion.
Is that because they're rollerblading?
No, it's because of the cell. Well, it's that and the
Also-
cell shaded graphics.
Yeah, the art style is really cool. It's very like comic-y.
Yeah, very very like minimalistic comic vibe.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's got like an early 2000s look to it. No, and not
It
even
looks,
that.
It looks really good.
Plus, I haven't seen a game with that much aerial mobility in a while, so that'll be
Yeah.
kind of cool.
And like I've never seen a game that had incorporated roller skates and guns. And I'm all about.
Oh, they're
and
games.
and with like Tony Hawk type tricks you can do,
Yeah.
and boss fights that they're gonna add into it.
And
I've
trick
never
shots.
and trick shots.
I mean,
I've never.
that's just what Tony Hawk needed was boss fights. I think that was what would have put it over the top. So
I mean, like you just start like trying to out trick the other person. I actually think that
something.
exists. That probably exists.
Wasn't there one? There was one Tony Hawk game where in the story mode you literally fought like a robot.
I think you're thinking of Tony
I'm not
Hawk.
going crazy here.
It might have been
Underground,
one of the undergrounds.
Yeah, it
like
might have been
Underground
one of
1 or 2.
Yeah, it was probably one of the undergrounds.
These games are crazy. The Fireball War in 1.
I think I will be playing.
And then
this
there was
game.
a bunch of like boss battles in quotes where you literally had like trick battles against people.
Yeah,
No guns though.
I miss those games.
Makes me wonder why
Unfortunately
they didn't make an Underground 3. But yeah, no, I think this game's gonna be rad, and I'm excited to play it. I dig like the weirdness of it. It also has like a what's the name of that game? Not Thunderdome, but like the Arnold Schwarzenegger movie from the 80s.
wow, you're gonna be a little more specific.
The one
He's definitely talking about Conan the Barbarian.
No, I'm talking about the one where they're stuck in like a death battle type situation. I think the closest thing you could think of is oh my god, what? It's like where a bunch of high school students are stuck. They have to kill each other. Like only one survives.
Battle Royale.
Yeah, it's basically Battle Royale is inspired by that. Like it takes influence from it. At least the basic theme of it. But it has like I don't know, it has that kind of
You're gonna have to
Battle
IMDb
Royale is inspired by that?
Yeah. There's an Arnold Schwarzenegger movie where they're stuck in like a competition against each other to have to kill one another, essentially. It's like the first movie to kind of do that.
Oh,
But
I mean, Battle Royale was a manga first, so
right, but this came out in like the 80s, like early 80s.
I think Battle Royale did too. I don't know. It doesn't matter.
It really doesn't. We can look this up later. So I don't know. Did anybody see was there anything else that stuck out to anybody? I mean, obviously we had Street Fighter 6 and Resident Evil 4.
I mean, yeah, Street Fighter 6 and Resident Evil 4. Like
let's do Resident Evil. Let's do Resident Evil 4 first, and then we can go back to because Street Fighter 6 is we're gonna have the most to talk about.
I'll fangirl over some Resident Evil 4.
So, real question here is: do you think Leon will have his jacket throughout the entire movie, the entire game? This is a real question here. Because he loses the jacket in the original game, and I think a lot of people were disappointed.
Lose it instantaneously.
I don't know, man. It shows him
to keep the spirit of the game.
I feel like there's going to be
jacket loss,
coat mechanics built into it, where if you don't have the coat on, you start getting cold and you start losing life. I think that's going to be a thing.
Or you're like Mario, when you lose your hat, you just take double damage.
Wait, what's that from? Is that from
Mario 64?
Well, how do you lose your hat?
Super Mario 64 in Dry Desert or whatever. What is it fucking called? Whatever. The desert level. In the desert level, there's a vulture that can swoop down, and he just swoops down and grabs your hat.
Really?
Like an asshole. Yeah.
Damn.
Happened to me as a child. I was very upset.
At least he didn't pick you up, like an eagle, and just carry you away to eat you.
That'd be better, because then you're not taking double damage and trying to chase and get your hat back.
But he's one-shotting you, okay?
That's fine. I'm back with my hat.
Fair enough. What do you guys think about the Resident Evil 4 trailer? Does anybody have any sort of, like, connection to Resident Evil 4? Also,
I love Resident Evil 4. I played the shit out of it. And the trailer doesn't show too incredibly much. We kind of get to see some slight redesigns for characters. But other than that, it's just like, oh, yep, Resident Evil 4 is a thing. Oh, here it's coming. Oh, look, here's Sherry. She looks different.
She does, yeah.
It I don't know.
It basically shows that they're having a lot of the same story beats.
Well, I hope so. I hope they follow the whole story.
I want a 1-to-1 remake. Oh man,
I would take that.
Would you?
Yeah. Well, okay, not 1-to-1. I want Sherry's mechanics incredibly improved.
What if they
You
just
want her to be like Elizabeth from Bioshock, where she's just throwing you ammo?
Yes, that's fine. Sure, anything to just like stop making her awful.
Leon?
Yeah.
The other thing too is
Escort me.
I think that they're gonna delve
Hey, what are you looking
into
at?
more serious. Like the first game is camp. The first RE4 is camp, of course. This one is probably still gonna be a little camp, but it looks to be a more serious take on Resident Evil 4.
It had more of like a village vibe to it, didn't it?
Well, yeah, they're gonna reuse assets. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that was what I was getting. I was like, it's kind of villagey, which makes sense. It's fine. They're both set in a village. It's close enough.
A lot of people were talking about when Resident Evil 8 came out that they're doing this because they intend to make a Resident Evil 4 remake, which is why it looks similar because it's
That's
like
an interesting logical leap.
They hinted at making Resident Evil 4 for a while before 8 came out, so it's not completely unrealistic.
No.
And like look at Resident Evil 3 and 2 remake. Like look at how many assets they
We
reused.
can just look at
both
2. I don't think we need to look at 3.
But if you look at 3, you can see the reused assets, damn it.
All I see is
Honestly,
missing levels.
I wish I could like Resident Evil. I can enjoy Resident Evil because I like the concept of it. I like the way it looks and the way it plays. But the problem is, Resident Evil is not made for me to play because I personally hate zombies. So you know how the point of the game is that you have to avoid the zombies, so you save your resources, you save your bullets, right? But the thing is, I hate zombies and the sound of zombies, so I will make sure every single zombie I encounter is dead, so I don't have to see it, I don't have to hear it, and so I play
A
Resident
valid
Evil.
strategy in 2 remake, by the way.
Yeah, but I played 2 remake, right? And the problem is, I got to a point where I used every bullet, even all the bullets that I could collect, and at the part that I was at, and I completely ran out of bullets, and I was stuck.
Wow. That's a lot of bullets.
Yeah.
It very much encourages you to have a good shot too. So
Yeah.
Mhm.
if you're going to be efficient, like you better shoot them in the head correctly to move on.
Are you
Yeah.
saying she has bad aim?
Look, I'm just saying that it suggests that she could have bad aim, okay? I'm not saying she
I think-
does because I've never seen it, okay?
Possibly
Yeah,
implying.
one of the biggest reasons why I ran out so much bullets is because I never really played a Resident Evil before, so I didn't realize that I was supposed to board up the windows. So they kept respawning, and I had to kept killing them, and that took a lot of bullets. Mm-hmm.
So
I imagine you also shot them when they were on the ground already, too.
Maybe once or twice.
so that's the thing is like once you play through the game once, you kind of learn, oh, this is where I gotta board up a window because later on if I don't, it's gonna screw me over.
Yeah.
Not only that, but like obviously you start to run out of ammo, but there's a lot of people you can run past, and you kind of want to save your ammunition for when there's a boss fight, or when you absolutely have to kill something, or because you're gonna take damage. There's situations where like if I take damage from this person, I'm gonna die, and obviously that can't happen. But yeah, I'm
I
excited.
literally never ran out of ammo in Village.
Well, yeah, it's like
Never. Ammo's just
abundant
everywhere. Yeah, it's just more of a shooting game than a Resident Evil game.
Well, Resident Evil 4 was like that too. If you
to an extent.
What do you mean? There was like literally ammo everywhere.
I mean, yeah, there was ammo everywhere, but at the same time, the further you got in, it got a little more scarce, and you had to use more of like your kicks and stuff,
So that's the thing is I've already played it a few times, so I'm already playing optimally usually. So
fair enough.
I mean, I don't think the thing is I don't think about ammo anymore.
Kick, knife.
Shoot, kick, knife, or like Right. I don't really think about the ammunition anymore. So it's like, again, I have to speak from a point of already knowing.
An elitist.
I've played that game more than a few times because I love Resident Evil 4. August, do you have any?
Which is your favorite version? Like, have you played like the regular version, like PlayStation, the Wii version, which I know uses like the Wii motion controls? I keep meaning to buy the VR version because I heard it's fun, even with the changes, but I haven't played it yet.
I would love to play the VR version of that game.
Same.
Mine's an easy choice for this GameCube version.
Actually, I'm gonna say that the GameCube version of the PC version, the Steam version, are my favorite. Though the Steam version has some issues, like, okay, you know how they have QTEs? So there are certain QTEs that have issues with. You can change the frame rate from 30 FPS to 60 FPS, and when you do that, you're doubling the speed of the QTEs. Some of them are impossible without changing the
Dodge this boulder.
Yeah, some of them are impossible or way harder if you don't change the FPS back to 30. So
That's
it's
hilarious.
Yeah, it literally is like a built-in bug, but it looks great. The worst one I've ever played is the PS2 version, because
that thing chugs.
Not only does it chug, but the zombies look terrible. The whole thing looks like shit compared
load screens
compared to the GameCube version. It looks horrible. They also, because it looks horrible and it chugs, they reuse like a certain zombie asset more than others. So you keep seeing the same ones, opposed to like on the GameCube version, you hardly, like, you don't see the same ones as much. So it's kind of funny that way. But yeah, I'm definitely excited for the 4 remake. I'll be playing it day one.
PS2 is easily the worst version.
Yeah, it's free. It's really easy.
Awful.
Yeah. I would say I haven't played the Wii version. A lot of people say that's the best way to play it. Because it has the best. Yeah, it actually has super accurate aiming, believe it or not. So yeah, I definitely want to try that at some point.
I mean, GameCube didn't have the best aiming, so makes sense. Oh, someone's knocking on the door.
All right, so I guess we can move on to Street Fighter 6 then. Unless anyone had
before Street Fighter 6, there is another game though that's pretty interesting to me on the list.
Absolutely.
I think I'm pretty interested in Season because from the trailer, like the scenery composition, the color palette is absolutely beautiful. Like it's such a artistically unique game.
Yeah, I just noticed this. I think that the main character is trans. I didn't even notice that the first time around, because they keep referring to the main character as a female, but they also have like male sort of looking attributes. So, but then again, I haven't played the game, so it could be. I mean, I could be confusing things. But yeah,
I was really surprised when I found out it wasn't an Annapurna game, because like this is totally something Annapurna Interactive would make, but like I guess it's by someone else.
Are those the people that make like Journey and
Yeah, they make a ton of like cool indie-ish stuff.
We're back.
They made that like it's that like dancing like dream game where you're like in a dream a while back. I can't remember. I have it on like 2 different consoles. But yeah, Annapurna just makes cool indie stuff that's like it's got its own vibe to it. And I was surprised they weren't the ones producing this, but it looks cool. I'll definitely probably watch like some of it. I don't know if I'll get it, but I'll definitely check it out.
It does look interesting.
Yeah.
Was there? I mean, it looks like it definitely doesn't look like it has action.
It seems probably like a story-driven kind of
adventure game.
And maybe I'm assuming that the story plot would probably be kind of like a nostalgic bittersweet thing because it is called like a letter to the future, and there seems to be like photograph mechanics to maybe indicate some kind of memory themed like storytelling.
Yeah, no, I could see that. It is strange. Like it looks like obviously one of those games that like there's a whole lot of mystery through it. I hope you can like go through and explore the forest, or, you know, you can just like go off the beaten path. That would be really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I could see that. It looks like one of those games that like there's a whole lot of mystery through it. I hope you can like go through and explore the forest, or, you know, you can just like go off the beaten path. That would be really cool. But it does have, it looks very vibrant, and it almost looks like an A24 movie in a way, if anybody knows what I
Yeah,
mean.
it does.
Super vibrant colors. It looks like this could easily be a horror movie. Like, it could just turn into a horror movie.
Yeah, and I also like the way the colors and compositions are, and the proportions of the characters also makes me kind of think of like Ghibli movies a little bit.
Yeah, that's fair. Has like a very, cartoony type look.
Yeah.
And damn it, I was just about to say something about it. It also looks a lot like Breath of the Wild, in a way.
Like the
Sayonara Wild
slightly
Heart.
low poly, smooth kind of look.
Yeah, like for as we can see, like it really seems like cell shading's coming back. Like people are really
That's
vibing
awesome.
on cell shading in a way. Like I love cell shading, but
Wind
it's like
Waker.
yeah, Wind Waker. It looks like a lot of influence from the early 2000s for some reason. I don't know why it's so popular, but
cell shading games also tend to age extremely well, so that's
Yeah.
always nice.
I mean, Wind Waker still looks good.
Yeah, Wind Waker still looks good.
Yeah. So with that, did anybody have anything else they wanted to say about this game before we move on? Nope.
Excited
Alright.
for Spider-Man. but-
Spider-Man on the PC. Yeah, I can actually play the
Yeah.
game now. I can't
Yeah,
wait
that'll be
until Spider-Man Miles Morales comes out in 10 years.
No,
on
they said
PC.
it's going to be later on in the year,
Really?
supposedly. So yeah.
Oh, that's neat.
I've heard a lot of good things about Spider-Man.
We take those.
Me too.
So it's a good game.
Yeah.
I'm just happy it's coming to Steam and not Epic.
Oh god, yeah.
True.
Yep. All right. So I guess we can move on to Street Fighter 6. Now, who wants to go first?
Callisto Protocol? No Callisto
So,
Protocol?
I am hype about that, but like as someone who's just super into like the very dark, visceral horror games, I'm like, oh, it scratches a certain deep itch.
Here, I'm gonna.
Especially that it's by the makers of Dead Space.
Yep.
The ones who
like,
left.
Group.
Oh, that's
Originally, it was
right.
going to be part of the PUBG universe, but I guess they canceled that. But it still looks super cool.
It's gonna scare the children.
Personally
it's
would
gonna
not
scare
play
the
it.
crap out of people.
Yeah.
I hate like icky, sticky, rotting people aesthetic. That's why I don't like zombies.
Unlucky, because that's gonna be the whole game.
Yeah, I was gonna say I
Yeah.
personally can't wait to see someone's face get eaten off. Like that. I'm so excited.
Oh, yikes! All right.
Yeah. And I mean, I think I beat Dead Space 1 for the first time during Halloween because we were doing spooky games.
Hell yeah.
And so, like, seeing this, I was like, "Wow, this is Dead Space. This might as well just be Dead Space."
Yeah. It is.
And I mean, like Quintessence was saying, like it's made by the same Dead Space people. It looks pretty rad. I mean, it looks like it also might have a nemesis system with that robot that was like murdering people. It looks like you're on like some kind of a prison colony of some kind. Where, I mean, I'm gonna guess that they're experimenting on people.
If it's good enough for Doom, it's good enough for us.
If it's good enough for Doom, but yeah, I think it's gonna be really interesting. I don't think I'll buy it day one. Well, your cat has a lot of opinions on this game, apparently.
Yeah, hey, he's excited. He's hyped.
What do you? Okay, yep. All right. What else? So yeah,
Let me get in on this conversation.
Did anybody else have any opinions on Callisto? Before we move on.
Yeah,
that's the sum of mine.
Yeah, it's Dead Space. There we go. What a
Looks like cool Dead Space game.
what a review.
Looks like cool Dead Space game.
Let's move on to Street Fighter 6. So, August, I didn't get to hear your opinion on Street Fighter 6.
I am exceedingly hyped for this. I haven't gotten enough time to take a look at how the actual mechanics will work. I know they have like a kind of a parry system that's based on meter. That's something I kind of wanted for 5, so I'm really excited that's coming in for 6. I really like the realistic graphics. I think that's definitely a turn that I think Street Fighter should have made a while ago. And now that the technology's there, especially because they're using the RE engine, I definitely think it's the time to do it. Love that they're bringing the hip hop aesthetic back. I mean that it worked for SF3. I mean, it can't not work again. Everyone loves that. So yeah, I'm a little dubious about the weird like open world like interactive mode thing. I
Create a
don't know how that's
character.
gonna involve in like this story mode or whatever. But I mean, honestly, if even have some like basic beat 'em up mechanics, it could be fun. And I mean, the gameplay looks great, graphics are great. Um, my dream for it would be like, let's see a giant roster. Let's see like the biggest roster we've ever seen in Street Fighter. Like support this game for like 6 years. I don't care, but like I want like 40 characters by the time we're done.
So, so
But
you know that there's like barely any characters that they could include from past games. So
what do you mean?
like, there's only a few characters left that they haven't included in Street Fighter V.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I want the characters from 5. I want the new characters. I will like if I could see every character ever that has ever been in a Street Fighter game back or in this new game, I'd love it. I know I'll never get that because there's like I think 60 some odd Street Fighter characters, not including like Final Fight characters. But I mean, I'd love to see a lot of weird characters back. Like I know we're getting DJ back. That could be real interesting with like a redesign.
Yep.
Because I know people didn't like him in 4, but I thought he was kind of cool and I loved him from 2.
I always love
Um,
seeing really good DJ players because
Yep,
they're always so
very-
rare, and it's like, man, they always play super well. Anyway,
One of the characters in the trailer, Jaime, is like a drunken boxer, which I
Mhm.
know is an archetype a lot of people
oh,
wanted for a long
you mean
time.
Jamie?
Or Jamie? I don't know if it's Jamie or Jaime. I have no idea.
It's Jamie
it's a
too.
drunken boxer with like a Spanish name. Like that's a little confusing, but I'm okay with it as long as it
Is Jamie Spanish? I don't think it's Spanish, is it?
might be.
Anyway, it doesn't matter. Anyway,
Yeah, but it looks cool. I'd love to see as much people hated him. I'd love to see El Forte back. I was really surprised. What's his name? What's the blonde guy that's the lead character from 4? I was really surprised he did. Abel. I was really surprised Abel didn't come back for 5 because his character model's in the game.
people hate Abel.
So I would have been okay with it.
There actually
But,
looks to be a female character that's going to take Abel's place. If you look at the
Yep.
leaked roster, but
Yep,
yeah,
I saw that. Yep, I saw that. I can't remember her name, but yeah, she's a Jack German lady. But yeah, no, I'm really
Roster's
excited.
Quite the spectacle.
Yeah, I mean, Cammy has pants
A
now.
lot of new
I'm happy to see
characters.
it. I mean, I think it's
Oh, not
a
for long.
costume change overdue. Oh, of course not. I mean, they'll, they know where they make their money.
There's already a leaked video of her in her original
Yeah,
outfit.
it's why Chun-Li has like 40 costumes. Like they know
Mhm.
Street
The
Fighter just becomes,
badonkadonk on full
Yeah,
display, of course.
Street Fighter just becomes a waifu simulator as the game goes along. But I mean, they have to, devs got to get paid too. I get it.
Yeah.
I just want the gameplay to be good, and if the gameplay is good, yeah, I'll be playing this day one.
It looks so like weighty and good. It
Yeah.
really looks
Mhm.
real
It
good.
does look really cool.
so
I kind of
Yeah.
wish they zoomed the
Like the
camera out a little
animations were
bit.
insane.
yeah, they look good.
I kind of wish they zoomed the camera out a little bit because that's kind of one of the changes that I missed from 4 being like a little wider angle and 5 was a little tighter in, or maybe I'm mixing it up.
I think it
But,
was the other
other
way
than
around.
that,
I don't know,
yeah,
with all like the ink effects that they got going on,
yeah,
I think I prefer the slightly more zoomed in, so you have like a better
Mhm.
focus on your characters, so they don't really get lost in the sauce.
but I'm really excited. Yeah, I'm super excited.
Some of the
Yeah.
like the characters that are in the background look like trash, but I mean, it's all good.
They don't need to look good though, right? Like
Yeah.
whatever, they could be cardboard cutouts for all I care.
Yeah, but even characters that existed, because they're Final Fight characters that have been
Yeah.
in other Street Fighter games that look bad, and they look bad. Like Hugo is in the background at one stage, and he looks like trash.
Yeah, but who cares?
Well, I mean, let's look at the background characters in 5. Like they're like 2 FPS moving around in the
Yeah.
background.
what
They look very,
background
very bad.
characters?
Honestly, I think I've heard a lot of people complaining about the way Street Fighter 6 characters look, and honestly, I don't think anything can get worse than Street Fighter 5. I think Street Fighter 6 is pretty good, but
Banana
yeah,
hair
I'm
cam,
generally pretty
They definitely-
excited for it.
Yeah.
Because I don't know, I never got into Street Fighter because I got into fighting games not too long ago, and I tried to get into Street Fighter 5, but I don't know, it just didn't feel right to me. So I'm excited to have like a new Street Fighter game where there could be more beginners for me to ease into the game a little easier, and
Oh, yeah.
new mechanics, and everyone can learn at the same time. That's why like Strive was so good to learn for me, and such a good, like, it's already a very good beginner fighting game, right? and especially because I caught at the beginning, there was so much more people to play that was around my skill level, so it was a lot more easier for me to learn and improve. Since I caught at the beginning, but yeah, with Street Fighter 6, hopefully I'll be able to get into it because I do want to get into Street Fighters, but it's like Street Fighter 5, like with the timing and stuff, it just felt really weird to me, and I couldn't get into it. Yeah.
I get it. It's a dry game, and like, I mean, I say that as someone who's owned it and played it since like when it came out in 2016. It also
Mhm.
never really had a clear design philosophy. Like they changed what they wanted the game to be like a couple times internally. And that's why like the later systems get more and more complex. The beginner systems are really simple. And I think that kind of disadvantaged the game early on because a lot of people got into the game and they're like, this is kind of flat.
Yeah.
And they started adding stuff in, but like the core design was already kind of set in place, which kind of ruined it. Because they could only add on additional mechanics, but they
And then
couldn't
we
go
got
back
the
and
final
change the
update
main
that added
mechanics.
more mechanics.
Yep.
Crazy. It was really funny because like I actually made a Reddit thread and I'm like, you know what? They're gonna add another mechanic which gives like roughly an invincible backdash. Sure enough, like in the second last
There it
update, they
is.
did that. So like, I mean, I feel like a lot of mechanics you could have seen coming because like people were like, yeah, this game is way too offensive. We need to like add stuff in.
Yeah.
But like it's still it's just a very weird game. Like I'm not saying I dislike playing it. There's certain characters that I love in that game and I'd love to see come back. I think Zeku has an amazingly cool mechanic set.
Yeah.
There's a couple other characters that have just really cool mechanics that I'd love to see show up again in later games. But for a lot of the base characters, you know, like Ryu, they had to redesign Ryu like 4 times, and like now people would argue maybe he's overtuned. But I mean, if you have to redesign the character that's supposed to be your base character 4 times, I think you have like a design flaw somewhere in your game balancing there.
Um, so I'm a personally, I'm a big fan of like the mechanics that they've talked about already, and it's
Yeah,
because
me too.
everybody is going to get an FADC. Everyone's going to
Yep.
be able to dash cancel moves. There's going to be, it's not just going to be like Ken. Everyone's going to get a parry.
Yep.
It sounds completely balanced, and they're going to have like defensive. Everyone's going to get defensive mechanics. So
Yeah.
it's going to be really cool. I do like
The framework looks a lot better.
Yeah,
than
the
what we started with 5.
yeah,
Core system looks a lot better.
It feels like 5 was a beta for 6.
I mean yeah, for sure. And it really feels like it's going to be more balanced because everyone's going to have similar mechanics.
Yeah.
Instead of like 5 where it's widely different depending on their V trigger.
Crazy. Yeah.
Also,
crazy
Yeah.
I forgot.
Is your character good? Oh, your V trigger's good. You have a good character.
Yeah.
It was literally that for 3 seasons.
Also, the fact that they're going to have alpha counters in it too. So not only are you going to have parries, but you're going to have FADC, focus attack cancels, dash cancels as well. You get to, you get the get off me. So again, tons of defensive mechanics. So everyone, other than, having a DP, everyone's going to have a chance to kind of, take on everyone. And so it's going to be really good. I'm going to be playing this day
Including
one.
new players, by the way, because they're adding a special control scheme where
That's right.
it's
Yeah,
like one button specials. When you don't have complete control over your character, so that's like what you trade away.
Yeah.
So like you don't have the full like light, medium, heavy. You just have like medium punches and medium kicks, and then it kind of like judges for you based on like your distance. It seems like.
Oh, it's like close standing, far standing.
Yeah, it seems.
But I think that's a really interesting opportunity for people to learn neutral. So I'm okay with it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That plus like the 2-button specials mean that like anyone can execute some cool shit.
Yep. Especially if you suck at DPs.
A good intro.
Which is the core design philosophy of DBFZ too. I mean, they're like, we want things to be easy to execute, so it's more about like the higher level gameplay.
Yeah.
And then you get into the gameplay and you're like, oh wait, this is all high execution.
Yep. It's all drag, and also, hey, look, you don't know what to do.
One
Dragon
frame
Rush.
links. I see. Good thing this is all super friendly for me. I can get these 1-frame links.
It's like that dinosaur meme, and it's just like hop right in, and it's like a brontosaurus, so you just keep sinking to the bottom.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I mean that's just fighting games in general. It's like, it's always like you want a fighting game that's easy to start but hard to master.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
DNF Duel might do that pretty well. It might end
No,
up being
it
good on
won't.
that front.
I'm sorry,
could.
dude. It will
Could.
not do that well.
It could. You
Why
don't
not?
know.
You remember, like, watching me play and then all of the crazy meter combos where people were, like, getting 75% damage off one combo? Like, they were just
yeah,
using...
of course, but
and
that
they-
can be.
They were doing resets
adjusted.
off of EX combo. It was just... It was wild.
Yeah, but that's what I'm kind of talking about, right? You have your base mechanics that are easy to execute in DNF Duel, but then you also have that higher skill floor with like the cancels and stuff.
Imagine if the DNF Duel beta had a practice mode. Like,
God, it'd be great.
yeah, I could
That
actually
would've
learn
been
how to play the
I mean,
game.
the game's coming out in what, a month? Like, you'll get your practice mode. I'm just saying.
Look, I'm just saying, if you wanted to promote a game
Yes.
and you want people
I
to learn
agree.
how to play, right?
Yeah.
Put a practice mode.
Especially with the servers going down every 20 minutes.
I think the funniest thing about the no practice mode is all the scrub quotes that came out of it. Like, that's no fun. Figuring out how to play your character, that's cheating. That's why they
Right?
didn't put in practice mode.
Well,
Exactly.
the only real problem with that is that the people that are playing it constantly and are paying attention to the high level players are going to have way more of an advantage than someone who isn't paying attention and playing it
The
casually.
game isn't even out yet. It's just
Yeah.
a beta. Like, it'd be one thing if like they did what Multiversus is gonna do and have like an Evo tournament based on a beta. That's stupid. I mean, granted, it'll be cool to watch, but I'll be like so many day one scrubs, and then the
I've
people
only
that
heard good
were already
things
good
from
are just gonna
Multiverses.
destroy other people.
Multiverses is super fun. I played it for a bit. It's a really good time.
Unfortunately, I didn't get in. Big sad.
So I guess my point is about that beta though, the DNF Duel beta, is that you're actively discouraging newer players from playing because they're gonna jump in and they're gonna play somebody who's super good and they're gonna get demolished.
But that's the risk for any fighting game.
Yeah, I was gonna say that all depends on how many people decide to adopt
Just look
day
at
one,
like
you
Tekken
know?
7. You hop into your freaking first Dan game, and this guy's like, "Oh, I'm an Omega Smurf, an Omega Dan, first Dan." You know?
I think another problem with the no training mode is that there's like a less likely chance of people like fucking around with their character to discover like a problem with like their combo system for them to fix, like infinites and stuff like that.
Yeah, so I'm saying like
I think
it
we're gonna run
benefits.
into infinites in DNF Duel.
Honestly, I don't think it was a conscious decision not to like not put a practice mode in the network test. It was literally like, we want this to be a network test.
Yeah.
We don't care about putting a practice mode because that would be a little extra effort for us to do.
We don't
Like,
care
they
if
could
people
have done
enjoy
it.
it.
I think they made a choice not to do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, they couldn't have been conscious when they made that choice. It's true.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm just saying, like, they're working on a budget. I don't think it's a good. I thought the better choice would have been to make the practice mode, but I mean, if they don't, meh. You know, well,
All the
game's coming out
characters
next
are so
month.
cool, though. Fuck me.
Characters do look cool.
That game's chunky though.
It is chonky, but they could iron it out, and it could be a really fun game.
I just like how every character is like
I wish the
crazy
best for
different
that
type
game.
of character.
Especially with how,
that is
like,
pretty cool.
creative and cool the characters are. Especially the new one they showed, Launcher.
Let me be real with you. I think my only real gripe with the game, other gripe with the game is, hey, I don't think it's worth full price.
No, I don't think so either.
$60, maybe 40.
The roster's too small. It doesn't seem to have too terribly much going for it. Like, it needs...
Probably. Did they say story mode? I can't remember if they said story mode.
There's like a light story mode.
Also, I want to say that I am a fan of Street Fighter 6's story mode. I think they finally actually need to commit to making a real game, other than, just fighting. And and also I'm a fan of Final Fight, so I
like Street Fighter 5 story mode. Like, honestly, I know it was like it was a poorly done version of what Mortal Kombat tried to do, or Mortal Kombat does, but at least someone's trying to do that. Which I like.
It was just arcade
that kind
mode
of
with some cutscenes. I don't know, man.
I'm okay with that.
That a story
as long as
mode
the
does not
story's
make.
good, I'm okay with that.
I mean, not everyone's going to be Guilty Gear Strive, okay?
True.
Which is
A
just
visual
story.
novel with some fights interspersed.
Really, that's just
a
visual
whole
novel,
ass visual novel.
All right, so moving on, Sonic Frontier. Did you guys check out the trailer for it?
I did. Breath of the Sonic.
Breath of the Sonic.
Honestly, I'm not that big of a open world fan.
No.
Yeah, like I understand the appeal of it, and I know a lot of people like it, but I personally I'm a bigger fan of like linear progression because I like I prefer story driven games the most, so I like the linear progression, and I like to know where I am in the story. I like to feel like I accomplished like maybe the first half, or like I accomplished first, second, third like main chapters of the story or something like that. I just like to feel like I progressed a certain amount every time I played, so I feel a little bit fulfilled instead of I have no idea where I am. I have no idea what is there to do. I'm just walking around aimlessly, kind of like that.
I
So you like
agree.
direction?
I
strong,
Yeah, I like
honestly.
direction.
strong narrative
Like,
direction.
as
Yeah.
sad as it is to say, I think it is extremely harder to design an open world game that still feels like a good video game than it is to decide to make a linear game that still feels like a good video game.
Yeah.
Because like you have to
Mhm.
like, where do you put the story? You have to like tell a story while like letting the player go anywhere and do anything, and it's super hard to do linearly.
Mhm.
So it's
Elden
like
Ring did it.
a couple games can do it, but those have to be like literally the elite class of game
I
designers.
know.
Most
Yeah.
game teams can't handle it. Halo Infinite couldn't handle it. So
No,
many
it
other
couldn't.
games
It
can't
couldn't handle a
it.
lot of things though. So
Like
yeah.
someone was describing that game to me, the other day, and it was literally like, yeah, you go around and like raid bases, but you're Master Chief, and I'm like, that sounds terrible.
Sonic has a whoa. Sonic has a climbing mechanic. What the
Yeah.
fuck?
You also do
Anyway,
a lot
I
of
don't-
running around
I,
as
like,
Sonic.
Sonic is like a famously linear game. Like I don't know why anyone who asked for this. Who
Yeah.
asked for
I don't
this?
know.
Sonic
Who
Adventure
It's
asked for an open
people.
especially
world Sonic
strange
game?
because it's Sonic.
Yeah.
I'm just happy they let you run around.
At the speed
We've had
sound.
so many weird Sonic games where they're slow. It's
Yeah.
nice to see that we're actually gonna go fast
Yeah.
in a fucking Sonic game again.
Like don't get me wrong,
Mhm.
it's cool. It'd be cool if it had like open world sections that was like hub world sections. But like, do I need a fully open world Sonic game? I don't know. That sounds weird to me.
Yeah, I
Look,
don't know. It's a little strange to me as well.
Sonic needs to try something
It's
new.
odd, but I'm open to it. Why not, right?
Open
Sonic
world
has
to
to
it.
transition into proper 3D somehow.
Hey,
God knows the
Adventure
other
2 is a
attempts
classic.
were not working.
Man,
Adventure 2 is a classic.
Sonic
It was
Adventure
okay.
1 is rough.
They're setting a low ass bar.
Also, I'll be honest, the 3D and the open world with the Sonic speed looks like a motion sickness case waiting to happen.
I was getting motion sickness as
Yeah,
I was
feeling
watching
a little
it.
sick when they were
Yeah.
running around. I was like, oh,
Yo,
that's
dog,
totally
I heard you
fine.
liked motion blur, so we added some motion
I'll
blur. on your
adjust to
motion
it.
blur.
And I'll do what I do with every game that has motion blur. Turn it off.
Turn it off. Yeah. You're not hiding
And the
anything
game would
from me,
and
game.
the game would reveal itself to look even shittier because the motion
I think it
blur
looks
would be
pretty
covering
good.
the bad
I know,
graphics.
It looks
yeah,
good.
it's just way too fast, and it's so
Yeah.
big and spinny, and it's just too much for me to
It's
handle.
too
But it's
it's too
Sonic.
Sonic for you.
Gotta go fast.
Yeah, it's too
Gotta go
Sonic.
fast.
I'm waiting for the inevitable day someone who isn't thinking at all decides to make like a Sonic VR game and
Oh,
proceeds to like
God.
make everybody sick.
you go into your little ball and start spinning your VR. She's like, oh my god.
Or you like run a loop and you immediately just throw up, like never
Oh, that's
touching a V.
so
Put your
awful.
VR headset down.
This is
and
gonna
walk
be
out of the room.
sick. Oh.
Yeah.
I can't wait until you're actually like eating chili dogs like in the game. It's gonna be great. Like actively eating a chili dog.
Yeah.
It's my favorite part.
You want that full dive VR where you could taste the chili dogs.
Hell yeah.
Sign me the fuck up.
Let's go, dude.
Get some Futurama smell-o-vision going with it too.
Nice.
Yeah, did
Did you
anybody
see the Japanese released a taste TV? Like it's a TV that you can like you lick it and you can taste things like digitally.
That sounds
I feel like
nasty,
licking
honestly.
a TV would be a bad idea.
That sounds
Yeah,
expensive
I think so
somehow.
too.
It's the future.
All right. So with that, we're not going fast anymore. We're gonna move on. Diablo. This is one Quintessence one
Diablo
top.
Immortal.
Diablo Immortal.
Yeah.
It's coming out.
It's
El
out.
Diablo.
It's out.
It is
Alright,
out. It is out.
someone
People have
tell-
played it.
It's out.
People-
Somebody tell
played
me
it.
about this because I don't know anything about this.
Yeah, I also don't know anything about Diablo.
So, well,
I've watched some
Diablo is basically like the first like isometric style, like action RPG. Like they developed the genre essentially, and people think it peaked with 2, and I agree.
Whoa.
So now we have Diablo Immortal,
Which is what,
and
4 technically?
I think it's like
no, it's not 4.
I don't know
It's
if it's a
more
mainline
like a
series.
3.5. It's not technically in the main line. It takes place before the events of 3 and after the events of 2.
Is that why people have guns?
I'm what?
People have handguns. In the
I
trailer.
don't remember anyone having guns.
Yeah, somebody has a handgun, dude.
I mean,
Guns are just cool,
I
okay?
could see it, but
Fans wanted
'cause
it.
the
Well,
technology
in
level in
America.
Diablo varies wildly.
Yeah.
But so like in 3, they killed off Deckard Cain, who is like a pivotal character in the Diablo verse. He's an old man, a member of the Herodrum, which watch over the primevals and prevent them from coming back or doing any nasty shit. He's not doing a very good job though.
That's why he's
So
dead.
well, yeah, but people love him, right? So they're like, shit, we killed Deckard Cain. We probably shouldn't have killed Deckard Cain. So like so Immortal, he's another centerpiece character in Immortal because they're like, oh yeah, we'll just set the game between the events of 2 and 3. That way we can still have our Deckard Cain and eat it too, you know?
They Street Fighter 4'd it.
Yeah, exactly. Like, oh, we killed important character. Well, what if we just go back in time? Everything's
but-
good.
I don't think Street Fighter cares too much about that continuity of killing characters.
True. Fighting game characters can always come back. Or they can literally be dead and still be playable. But so for Diablo Immortal, it was started out as mobile only for like their pitch, and then you had the infamous what, you guys don't have phones that became a meme because
Boo.
yeah, everyone knows that. So they actually announced it'd be coming to PC as well now. So then a couple days ago we had it come out, and it came out on the Battle.net launcher and on Android. I think it also came out on iOS, but it's very mobile. It's very, very mobile. Like the pay to win mechanics have been kicked into overdrive. Literally to the point where I was playing it for like an hour and I was like, this is fun. I could keep playing this. Why not? And then I finished like one of my first dungeons. And after I finished that dungeon, the game prompted me. It's like, hey, would you like to pay $1 to get more loot from this dungeon that you just finished?
Oh man.
Damn.
And
Tell me.
I was like, oh no. Oh no.
So it begins.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no, did
exactly.
you hear someone went and did the math? And they calculated that to fully max everything, it's like $110,000.
Yeah, it's
No,
very
yes, okay,
geared towards
$110,000.
whales. It's
Yep.
the progression is so heavily gated by money that
Money.
you won't even be able to experience most of the end game content unless you pay or you keep playing for a very long time. Right now, the game is getting review bombed. Last I saw, it was at like a 1.7 on Metacritic.
Damn.
And it earned it. So it's a shame because the game itself, right? It's actually a fun game. It's just pocket Diablo. If you like Diablo or you like action RPGs, you'll just like have fun. Like the controls feel good, they feel intuitive. It's weird.
That's what I've
It
heard. I've
plays
heard
well.
it plays extremely tight, extremely well.
But
The gameplay is great.
but it's just layered in microtransaction after microtransaction. Like in the end game, you need gems, legendary gems, and you socket these into your gear. So the average drop rate for these gems is under 1%. Or you could pay $100 and you can get a pack of crests that you put into the dungeon like generator to guarantee you get these legendary gems as a drop. And now the difference between somebody who has like the legendary gems and who doesn't have the legendary gems is like 50%.
Damn.
And in PvP, all of your stats matter. So PvP is literally completely pointless as like a free-to-play player, or if you don't want to just throw copious amounts of money into the game. It's kind of heartbreaking because I love Diablo, but I should have seen this coming. Like, all the signs were there because they never really wanted to reveal like their monetizations and stuff like that.
They should just be mask off about it. Like, they should post a meme on their Twitter. It's like, what? You guys don't have money?
Yeah, right. Exactly. It's just, I don't know. Everything's monetized.
Like, I'd love to see
everything.
a company just be refreshingly evil, like openly villainous, like complete heel face turn.
There's a fantastic clip going around where Asmongold, he does a run of a dungeon as free to play, right? And then he does a run of dungeon paying. And so when he does it free to play, like, it drops like some common items, maybe like a couple magic items. And then he does it paid, and it's just raining like the highest tier legendary items just down upon him. Like, it's unapologetic.
I'm gonna let my cat in.
Like,
Hold on.
They don't give a shit.
That's great.
I don't think, like, they could have just sold cosmetics and people would have been happy, or they could have just like charged $20 or some shit for the game and not had all this pay to win garbage and just gave like an actual experience. And I think it would have done fucking amazing, like gangbusters, pounding down those dollars. But
so wait, are you saying they should have just charged like how much is the game? I assume it's free to play, like most mobile.
It's free to play. Right? It's free to play. Yeah.
So like you're saying they should have just charged like, okay, it's $20. Yeah, that's a lot for a mobile game, but like, you think up front people would have paid it?
Yeah, I think so, because the game like itself is tight. It plays well. It's fun. It's just more Diablo, and more Diablo is always good. But all the microtransactions are just ridiculous. Oh, the best part is there's a pity system. So like if you keep paying, you're guaranteed to keep getting good stuff, right? Well, the way they set it up is, so for example, you buy that $100 pack, right? And it gives you 45 crests to guarantee things. Well, at 50 crests, you're guaranteed a special item. So if you want to get more crests, you'd have to pay another $100. So you'd have to buy another $100 pack for those 5 crests that you're missing. It's so aggressively, like ridiculously aggressively monetized. It's absurd. And I just wanted to highlight how shitty it is that like an actual fun game has just been destroyed by these horrible practices.
How we doing?
It's actually not even available in multiple countries because of gambling laws, and Blizzard refuses to like disclose the actual odds for things.
Oh jeez.
And they're like, nah, we'd rather just not release in those countries instead of going through these procedures. Yeah. Which is just a huge fucking red flag for like how their systems work.
It actually blows my mind how like laissez-faire like loot box like laws are. I mean, there aren't really any. That's kind of the whole point.
Exactly.
But like for casinos, like literally it's mandated that not only are their odds disclosed, like even for like slot machines, but are actually accurate. Like they'll send people in to test it, and if it's ever wrong, there's like huge fines. Whereas loot boxes, they can do whatever they want and they can change jobs at any time. It's crazy.
Yeah. It's a shitty landscape. A lot of people are like, oh, it's just how mobile games are. But what if they weren't?
Yeah, exactly. It doesn't have to.
They don't have to be like this. People have chose to make it like this.
So with that,
But that's my rant.
sorry, man. We got to kind of push it along a little bit here.
That's fine. That was the end of my rant.
So, I'm gonna cut out the Elden Ring co-op stuff. I'm gonna move on to Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. Professors are uncomfortably attractive. Did anybody see the trailer for?
So true.
I mean, that's every new generation of Pokemon professors, though. They've realized there's a market.
I don't know about uncomfortably attractive because I think there's been better looking. Like there's been better looking professors, and the male professor of this generation, he's not uncomfortably attractive. He just makes me uncomfortable. He gives me the icks. He gives me the icks. He looks a little bit criminal.
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 To, like, sugarcoat it. He looks a little bit predatory. I don't like it. He gives me the icks. I don't like the way he looks.
I don't.
Damn.
I don't understand why, but okay, fair enough.
It's the way he looks. His haircut. It just the whole package.
Does he just look like a straight alpha douche?
Yeah, it gives me the icks. But the female professor, very hot indeed. I agree.
And she's like a cave woman. Like
what?
Yeah.
Damn.
Does anybody? Well, I don't know. It's literally like thirst trapping. It's like, what school will you be a part of? I suppose they're taking the.
Your rival's also super hot. Like,
yeah.
Oh yeah, I think the rival looks the best. The rival looks definitely
Nimona, you're so hot. Oh, God, what am I gonna do? I can't beat you in battle. I'm simping for you.
Oh yeah, no, I agree with the male professor.
Yeah,
that looks a little creepy. Like maybe
exactly,
if they got rid of if they got rid of the sideburns on the sides, he looked a little less sus. But he looks kind of sus.
What about Lechonk? Anyway.
Lechonk is like a layered joke, and it's fantastic.
Sorry, Kenny, I didn't mean to cut you off there.
No worries. And I think the bigger problem than the uncomfortably attractive professors is the uncomfortably phallic legendary Pokemon.
Oh shit! I didn't even see that.
I mean, they just have wheels. It's fine. This is like Pokemon motorbike races. We're good.
Yeah, but especially the Pokemon Violet legendary Pokemon. It looks so phallic.
It's kind of like a cock and balls. It really is.
It is.
Man, they really keep pumping out these Pokemon games. Like, I can't believe how many have come out in the past, couple of years. It seems like a yearly release at this point.
Yeah.
I mean, they probably are doing the Call of Duty strategy where they just have multiple.
Whoa, he does look like a dick and balls. What the fuck?
He does, yeah.
And it's so apparent, especially the shot of him on the hill from the back. That is a straight up penis.
Yeah, it's a straight up dick. Yeah.
Yes.
Oh my god.
Just a dick and balls. It happens.
It's so awful.
What's it called?
Oops, all penises.
No.
Holy
What's the name
hell.
of the new legendary that looks like a penis?
It's the one with the jet boosters. I forgot his name.
If you look at 232 in the Scarlet Pokemon trailer, you'll see the cock and ball of the Pokemon universe.
But in regards to like actual Pokemon, it seems like for the theme they're going with like the past versus the future, because like the male professor whose name I forgot because whatever.
Let's call him Professor Douche.
Professor Sada. He looks... Professor Sexy Sada over here. She's like a cave woman, right? And then Professor Douche is like in like all like techno, like he has like a techno shirt kind of thing going on.
But it's also very lame techno. Like the cave woman aesthetic is really good design, but Professor Douche here just looks so lame.
But then you also have the legendaries mirroring this, right? Because you have like the Scarlet legendary, like kind of like a dinosaur-looking motherfucker, and then you have the Violet, which has literally jet boosters for legs.
Just remember that penises are the future.
I mean,
that's really what it comes down to. I mean, I guess you're not wrong.
We don't have much of a choice right now.
I'm kind of interested though, because like one of the rumors I heard was that they'll have like One of the weird lore things is Pokemon is like understanding why there are like so many different like looking versions of the same Pokemon. So if they have like an ancient versus a modern version of different Pokemon, I think that'll kind of
Oh,
explain
that
some
would
of
be
that.
really sick.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Well,
that could be
lately
kinda cool.
they've just been going like regional differences,
Yeah.
Mhm.
I guess the
like
other
with
point.
Hisue versus Alolan and all that shit like that.
Like ancient versus modern could be a cool way to explain that too.
I mean, I
Yep.
guess it does make sense to have the different Pokemon in different areas be different. Like the Alolan Marowak, is it?
I
Mhm.
The one that has like the flames. He's like
Probably.
a soul
Yeah,
type.
it's Ghost. Ghost, yeah.
That's like literally my favorite Pokemon design in the past 10 years, I want to say. It looks so cool. Also, I want to point out to add to that future
I
thing.
really like Chandelure.
I just want a Pokemon VR game. How hard is that?
I don't.
I would be
think it'd
down
be
with
great.
that.
I'd be pretty down with that.
To add to the future thing, if you look at the trailer at 2:32, they are standing in the same place. And
Mhm.
but obviously the two legendaries, so it's separated by timelines.
Yeah.
So yeah, that definitely is an interesting take on the situation.
Oh, also
Yeah.
live co-op.
That's cool.
Oh, that's very nice.
That's cool.
Yeah, like you see in the trailer, you see like the group meet up and then they split off and then they
Hmm.
meet up in different places. Like that's crazy.
I wonder if the buildings and stuff are going to be different in the two versions, or if there's some kind of like explanation for why the two people are in the same world or something, or is the buildings and structure going to reflect the time period that you're in?
Do you know what?
I
You
think
know what?
you're just gonna have like a default time period, and then like possibly like maybe you'll shift to like the past or like to the present or some kind of nonsense like that.
You know what my theory is about that? I think they actually just want you to buy two different games of the.
Oh, they're selling it as a 2-pack, yeah.
Oh,
so-
really?
no, it's
No,
one
Oh,
no,
you
off.
have to buy both of them?
No, you don't have to buy both of them.
Okay, that's good.
No.
I do
They
not
are
want Violet.
selling a 2-pack. though.
Yeah, they're
That's
selling
actually
them. They're
pretty
finally
cool.
bundling them where you can buy them both at the same time. Which
That's
Yeah.
I'm not
genius.
surprised.
It's genius.
It is genius, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like I love that, but I think one of the things that always stressed me out was like having to buy two separate games. I'm like, I'm just gonna buy one. It's fine.
Yeah, me too.
Since I was a kid though, like I've like up until Gen 3, I would buy every Pokemon, but you know, I'm old, so I can't do that anymore. I can't justify it. Let's see. Did anyone have anything else to say about the Pokemans trailer?
I'm really sad. I'm torn because I love purple and I'm like I should get violet, but I don't like the legendary and I don't like the
Yeah.
professor is good but not as good as Sada. So
Yeah.
like do I just get Scarlet and deal? But
yeah,
I like
personally, yeah,
I
I like
like
the purple yellow
purple.
color scheme too. But yeah,
Damn it.
everything else I like Scarlet more. So
Yeah, so I think I'm
unfortunately,
gonna end up
Violet
getting
is a no for me.
Scarlet.
Yeah.
Violet is dead to me, unfortunately, and Scarlet will be
Mhm.
the master race.
Unfortunately,
I'll
they got
just-
Professor Douche and the phallic Pokemon.
Yeah, it's an unlucky combo.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna get hot rival in both of them, so I'm fine.
Bro,
We're
I got-
good.
I have to pick Violet then because I can't pick the same one as you.
Okay, that's fine. Have fun with Douchey McDoucher.
I will. Um,
All right.
I'm
so
just gonna be over here playing Digimon Cyber Sleuth by my lonesome.
Pokemon's better than
Get a
Digimon.
real game, dude. I want to live in the timeline where Digimon was as successful as Pokemon. That'd be a fantastic timeline.
Yeah.
You know what I want to
Truth.
live in? I want to live in the
World
timeline
peace.
Speaking the
where
true.
Monster Rancher was more popular than Pokemon.
I'll take that one as well. I love Monster
Well,
Rancher.
the show
Even
was
though the
great.
games kind of fell into some less than desirable territory as the games went on.
You know, do you remember how like you would have to put different discs in to the
Yeah.
system to get different monsters? And so like
And
people would have
then
a
it read the
chart.
data.
People would have the chart of like which ones you would get. Like, oh, if you have the
Yup.
Matrix, you would get you get this monster or whatever.
Yeah, dude.
I missed-
I
I
looked
w-
forever to get like a Joker. It was so hard. It was so
I missed
hard.
weird, like randomly generated, like I don't what I call them like AR games like that. Like, do you guys remember the weird toy that like It was almost like a Tamagotchi. There were like monster battles, but to get new monsters, you had to go around like the supermarket scanning barcodes.
I
Oh, yeah, I
remember
remember
that. Yeah.
That
Yeah.
was horrible.
I
Yeah,
thought it was a cool
sounds-
idea.
No, it was
really
a cool
idea.
idea. Don't get me wrong. Horrible game though.
Forcing you to touch grass.
Game.
Hey, it made you go outside, okay?
You think
No, it didn't. I was inside a supermarket.
I mean, that's outside, right? Kind of.
outside your house?
I think it was called Scanners.
I think
it
that
was called
yeah.
Scanners. Yeah.
Like with a Z because of
Yes.
the 90s.
Yes.
It had to have a Z.
So true.
Here's my real question for you guys. Which Pokemon do you guys usually pick? Like, do you pick the fire, water, or grass Pokemon? Typically.
I mean, grass is
I'm-
a masochist.
I'm always all
I'm
about
kidding,
the
I
water
don't know.
Pokemon, pretty much. Water is like my favorite Pokemon element.
I think I don't know. I usually pick based on what they look like, but I think I
fair.
have generally picked either water or grass.
There are so many memes online about like if you pick grass first, you're gonna be in for a bad time because it's like one
But
of
the
the
grass ones always look the best.
They
You know,
look
I really
cute.
like the plant themed
Grass
ones.
usually has the best start too, and the
Yeah.
start's
Yeah.
the only like hard part of the
Totodile.
Pokemon games.
And ultimately, Sceptile is such a cool design.
Yeah, it's nice.
Or
I'm
not,
not-
the Sceptile. I don't remember what it starts as. Trico. Trico starts. Trico.
Not gonna lie, as a kid, I always picked the fire type. But now that
As a kid, I also picked the fire type.
yeah, because you want to just burn shit. Because you're a
I
child.
was a stubborn
you're a child,
child
yeah.
that leveled up my Charmander until my Charmander could beat Misty.
Oh, well,
yeah.
Did it disobey
So
you?
my Charmeleon beat Misty. No.
It must have disobeyed you then. Okay, I'll tell you what. Now as an adult, I'm a grass type man. I'm just gonna say it.
Grass types are great. I support it.
Grass types are great. Also, Bulbasaur, the easiest Pokemon to catch other Pokemon with in Gen 1.
I mean, Gen 1 Bulbasaur is just smooth sailing. You beat the shit out of Brock, and then you beat the shit out of Misty.
Yeah, but I think like my angle is, well, if I can't have an easy starter, I'll just find another Pokemon that does have an easy start. So that's why I'm just like, I'm all about having poison or sleep powder or like, the life seed or whatever. And
So you're
like
an asshole.
So I can just drain to catching Pokemon to like an easier route.
Leech Seed.
Leech Seed. So where like especially if you over level Bulbasaur and like let's say he becomes an Ivysaur, you can still use Leech Seed and get less and beat lesser Pokemon by just inching them. Because like as you kind of like get on, you have to start changing your loadout if you're gonna keep catching different Pokemon.
Yeah.
So I don't have to do that if I have Ivysaur or whatever. So anyway, did anybody have anything else they wanted to say before we move on to the last subject, the yellow of the week?
My favorite Pokemon is Starmie.
Wow, that's a
Hot
weird
take.
Pokemon. Yeah,
I know.
What's your favorite Pokemon?
I love Starmie.
Tenny. I gotta know.
Yeah.
My favorite Pokemon. People will call me a furry for this, but Lucario.
Lucario's fire.
Anthropomorphic.
Lucario's I
good-ass
love
choice.
Lucario.
Lucario's what? Lucario's what?
Well, he's sick. He's sick. I love him.
Oh, okay.
It's really
I'm a big-
sexy.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of the.
Sick.
I'm a big fan of like the fighting type Pokemons. They're always like designed really cool.
Yeah, Lucario's really cool.
I mean, I love how he's not officially psychic, but like is basically psychic. Like he doesn't have a voice. He just talks to your mind. How is he not psychic? I don't get that.
Don't worry about it.
Yeah,
Don't think about it.
Don't worry. Don't worry.
So
Lucario's fun. I'm a Lucario main in Smash. So, well, not just
Nice.
Lucario, but Lucario in Smash is great.
Falco. I remember the time
Falco
I got mad at you for beating me in Melee. I'm never
I do
letting that
spam the
go.
laser.
Yeah.
I do spam the laser a lot.
Yo, I need that salty run back.
We'll get it sometime.
All right,
Backlog,
so-
what's your favorite Pokemon?
I really like Lowen Marowak, I guess, or
Oh, okay.
yeah. I actually I like a few different Pokemon. I like Arcanine. I like Hitmonchan. I don't know.
I mean, a lot of shitty Pokemon. Poliwag.
Oh, I also really like Alola Ninetales.
Alolan Ninetales, yeah, that's cool.
Alola Ninetales is sick.
Understandable.
What is it? Dugtrio? No, what is it? Tree. What's the tree Pokemon? Hold on, let me see if I can look it up.
Sudowoodo?
Sudowoodo. Yeah, Sudowoodo.
Or Trevenant? Trevenant?
Sudowoodo.
Is it like the spooky tree or the
Sudowoodo?
Okay.
Sudowoodo. No,
He's a rock Pokemon.
He is a
Sounds
rock
like a
Pokemon.
Linux man.
Because he's not actually wood.
If you don't know your types, it's very confusing.
He's Sudowoodo.
My favorite Pokemon is the trash Pokemon.
Identify with him?
Because he's garbage, yeah. Anyway.
Remember as a kid, one of my favorite Pokemon lines was the Abra line with like Kadabra and.
It's such a good line.
Yeah, Alakazam. I love them. They were so cool.
Yeah. Pain in the ass to
Ghastly
catch.
line.
Yeah.
Ghastly line's dope. Gengar, sick.
So with that,
You gonna ask me what my favorite Pokemon is?
We didn't we ask you?
I thought you said.
Yeah, you said
No.
you love Lucario.
Oh, I also like Lucario. I didn't
What's your
say that was
favorite
my
Pokemon, my guy?
Well,
Okay, Greymon.
War
Suck it,
Greymon?
Pokemon fans.
Okay. Okay.
We're back in grade school, kids.
I mean, what's your favorite Digimon then, huh?
I mean, also War Greymon because he's
Oh
the best
wow. Okay.
Metal War Greymon.
with a British accent.
Metal. It's just more fun to say.
Wait, Metal War Greymon.
Yeah, this is Metal War Greymon. Hold on, let me
Digimon's
see.
weird in those questions.
I don't think there's a Metal War Greymon.
Yeah, there is. Metal War Greymon. That's the
Just
the
War
ultimate.
Greymon with a different color scheme.
Is it?
No, it's
Oh yeah.
Metal War
No. Is it? Yeah.
Super Metal Chrome Digitize. I don't know. Don't think about it. Don't think about it.
Skull Greymon.
Yeah, Greymon. It doesn't matter. I'm probably wrong, but it's cool. Anyway, did you guys read about the YouTuber? We're gonna go into the
Oh no.
L of the week.
What'd the YouTuber do?
So Nintendo, YouTuber pulls Nintendo soundtracks after receiving over 500 copyright claims from Nintendo.
Oh, I used to listen to this guy's channel.
Yeah, I mean, let's see. He had an account with 165,000 subscribers, homes of all kinds of video game soundtracks, but now removes the entire Nintendo library after a dozen soundtracks blocked while receiving over 500 claims from the Trigger Happy company. They weren't hosting uploads of commercially available albums, rather, like the rest of the channel, blah, blah, blah. Essentially, this guy got screwed.
I had a bunch of that shit on like my playlists, and they all just went to shit, and I was like, no, where else am I gonna get it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nintendo soundtracks have been like wiped off of YouTube.
Yep.
It's rough.
Yeah. I think the thing that sucks the most here is that really it's all part of a bigger problem that Nintendo hates the people that love their games.
So true. So incredibly true.
They've kind of been doing this for, I feel like, years now. And of course, when we had the copyright claim apocalypse of YouTube, they really cracked down on things. They even censor people that like make videos about criticizing Nintendo. That's actually been quite.
Oh, they'll take down a video that also like applauds Nintendo. They don't really care.
Yeah.
Like what was it? I think it was Angry Joe. He had a video where he was like, "Oh, I just really like this Nintendo game. Nintendo's great, blah blah blah." And Nintendo copyright claimed him.
Really?
Yeah.
Maybe this isn't the hardest hitting L of the week here that we've ever had, but
No.
still, I think.
But it's still sad.
Yeah,
I love Nintendo, but they're so stupid.
They are stupid.
Big idiots.
They live in the past, and
They are run by a bunch of dinosaurs. Like
it's still
Yeah.
1998 over at Nintendo.
company in the Stone Age.
Their
Boy.
consoles show it.
Yeah, the consoles show it.
Netcode in the Stone Age.
Yeah, it's like
Probably still using dial-up.
when Quintessence was saying, "Well, you're gonna get to do co-op." It's like, yeah, but on like a shit internet connect. Like, it doesn't really
Yeah,
matter. It's
I
not
know.
gonna. It's not. I mean, it's.
I mean, I'm not gonna have online anyway because I'm gonna emulate the game.
Oh my
Ooh.
god! You know, I think
Nintendo
you.
At your door.
Yeah, I think Yuzu actually has rollback netcode. I could be wrong.
Maybe.
So I mean, it might be. I mean, if you want to go to jail,
I would never.
never say things on a public podcast ever again. I
Want to
don't
be
know.
a dirty pirate?
Dirty pirate.
Well, no. Obviously, I would buy the game and then emulate it, right?
Oh, of course.
I like
It's
a
only,
good Samaritan.
only ethical way to do it.
Indeed.
Tenny, do you have a Nintendo Switch?
I do.
Yeah.
I don't use it too much though, honestly.
Fair enough.
Mood. Mine just sits and collects dust.
It does. But it
Yeah,
looks
me
pretty.
too.
Those Joy-Cons are very bright.
I'm like, man,
Mhm.
Smash is fun. What else do I play?
Yeah, like there there isn't really any particular games that I really enjoy playing on there. So I don't really open it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think. I think
And the
if you're
games that are
But
good.
then again, my PlayStation's sitting right next to it, also dormant. So
yeah,
And the games that are good on it get like 20 FPS. So are they really good?
30 if you're
you can't just
lucky.
rip
Yeah.
out my heart like this.
I mean, I sort of have the same feeling about the Switch. I think the biggest mistake of the Switch is not making a Switch Pro. I think they're gonna sorely regret that.
Yeah, but they
Um,
don't want to
Not
split their
making one
user
thinner?
base.
Yeah.
What
They
do
tried to do that with the new 3DSs, and that did not go over very well. Like, they had those exclusive, like, to new 3DS games, and people were like, what is this garbage? I can't play it on my normal 3DS?
I think ultimately what's going to wind up happening is when they make a sequel to the Switch, they are going to have it be backwards compatible with performance improvements. I mean, I think if that's
Yeah, the Swatch is going to do great.
the Swatch, the Switch
Yep.
2,
Yeah.
the Switch U is what they're going to call it.
Oh, shouldn't do that.
Yeah, I don't know how they're ever going to top the. I think they're still going to ride out the Switch, considering it's.
They
is it
said
the-
they're going to ride it out.
yeah,
And it's the oldest. It's the oldest current console. That's what kind of blows my mind. It's older than the PS5 by a lot. It's older than the Xbox
Yeah, but
S or
nobody-
X by a lot.
but nobody has a PS5.
I mean, I've heard
Even if
they
I had
did.
one,
I
it'd
haven't
still be
seen one,
collecting dust
I've
next to my
heard they did.
PS4.
Yeah.
I just don't console game anymore.
But my friend says that they have a PS5. I don't believe them. I've never seen it.
Unfortunately, my
Unicorn.
friends
Well, you
brought
don't
over
know
his
until you see
PS5,
yourself.
so I can't use that joke.
Look, listen, I'm pretty sure that it was just like two PCs duct taped together.
Nah, dude, I played Returnal
I don't
and
believe
Ratchet
you.
and Clank,
I think
which
you're
were the only games I wanted to play.
See, the
so
problem
I
is
I hit my quota.
you haven't showed me a PS5, so I don't believe you. I think you're part of the conspiracy. I'm just
It's like
saying.
if
Calm
the
down,
Earth is
Trump.
flat, I won't believe it until I see from space that a PS5 exists.
Yeah, man, that the PS5 is flat.
Until I'm
Um,
playing a PS5 on the International Space Station, they don't exist. It's the only criteria.
All right, guys. Well, I think that's it. We can probably start wrapping up.
Do we want to do the other L of the week I suggested? The other story, or we wrap?
I think we're done. Yeah, we're about 3
Wrap-
hours
okay,
deep
wrap.
right now.
We're rapping.
We're
Okay.
over 3 hours. But other than that, yo, Tenny, where can people find you?
Oh, you can find me on twitch.tv/Teniichi or twitter.com/Teniichi_.
All right. Quintessence, where can people find you?
Oh, you can find me playing games and being bad over at twitch.tv/QuintessenceHD.
Awesome. August, where can people find you?
Most episodes of the backlog, same back time, same back channel. So whenever we do this, usually.
Right. All right.
I don't know why you bother
Except for
asking.
today when I was a surprise guest.
Because if I don't ask, he's going to mention
He
it.
gets mopey.
He gets upset when I don't ask him where people can find him, which is just here. And he does it every time I don't mention it.
And
He's like,
nowhere
he says,
else.
"Aren't you gonna ask me where people can find me?" But yeah, other than that, guys, you can find the backlog on Twitter, Instagram. You can find us on YouTube. We're on everywhere you can find podcasts. We're on Twitch at twitch.tv/thebacklog. Internet permitting, we will be playing some games come Wednesday, as long as my bitrate doesn't die. I think we're going to be playing some more Tekken 7, and hopefully
Call
next
your
week.
ISP, dude.
Yeah, for sure. And hopefully next week we can get some more streaming in, and we don't have to pre-record our everything. So Tenny, I want to thank you for coming on the podcast, and I really appreciate you being here.
No problem. Thanks for inviting me.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And we'll have to have you on again
Great.
sometime. Hopefully
Thank
not
you so
doing
much.
3-hour sessions, so it is kind of exhausting doing this long, I'm not gonna lie. But other than that, guys,
I mean, I'm pretty fresh.
Oh,
I'm-
are you? Coming in halfway has an advantage, you know?
yeah, I just want to point out the fact that can we all point out the fact that when we do have guests, this means that August could be here.
Yeah,
But he's just
I
not.
usually don't get back home in time.
I
So,
didn't
like-
even consider this possibility.
I just saw people in the podcast channel, but like I was trying to be good. First, I went and checked if there was a stream, and I'm like, okay, there's no stream, so maybe they're just prepping. So I'm like, okay, I messaged you twice, you didn't respond back to me, so I logged in, and you're doing it, and I'm like, oh no, I didn't.
Well, I
mean
guess
to,
I gotta
like-
stay now.
Yeah.
Now
I mean,
forever
wow,
we'll
I'm not
be
gonna
guilt-
leave. That would be rude.
We're forever
Yeah.
guilt trip you for not showing up if there's
You
a guest.
pop in, you see there's people, you just kind of like...
I just hide. Just turn the laptop down.
Right. All right, guys. So we will catch you soon. Peace out, y'all.
So.
Bye.
Bye.